cannot generate even a cent of sales.
Frustrated business owners call for relief as the BC General Employees Union promises to ramp up job action. The search continues for a missing 11-year-old boy in Burnaby. The new information we're learning from RCMP.
And the Yankees have completed step one on their way back to a World Series.
The showdown is set. The Toronto Blue Jays will face the New York Yankees in the next round of the baseball postseason. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, October 3rd. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. We begin this morning with a growing frustration among business owners caught in a bitter labor impasse. The BCGEU strike is now in its 5th week, and the union says the public will really begin to feel the impact in the next few days. Our Reagan Hasegawa joins us in studio with more. Good morning, Reagan. So what are you hearing from both sides?
Good morning, Carrie. Well, striking public service workers took their message to the legislature this week. And while picket lines did begin outside of liquor warehouses, the impact is now spreading.
They're exercising their democratic rights, and that is not something that is new in this province.
5 weeks into the strike, certain sectors are feeling the pinch, especially businesses relying on alcohol. Importers say their products are stuck in warehouses with no way to move stock onto the shelves. Private stores that initially benefited from the closure of the government-owned outlets are now starting to see empty shelves too. The union is demanding an 8% raise over 2 years, while the government is holding at 5%. And with more than 1,000 additional picketers joining the lines this week, the BCGEU warns the public disruption is about to escalate.
Within the next week, there'll be a vastly increased impact on the general public. Unfortunately, that's unavoidable. Government failed to come back with a reasonable deal.
Public service workers say they'll be back on the lawns of the legislature on Monday as politicians return to work for the fall session. Carrie?
Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us this morning. Thanks, Reagan. Well, Mounties in Burnaby are continuing their search this morning for a missing 11-year-old boy. Last Friday, RCMP say they received a request for a well-being check for Kai Pavlovich. They say they spoke to Kai's family and have reason to believe he may be staying with a caretaker who isn't known to police. Now, Kai's whereabouts still have not been confirmed, and police say they are working around the clock to find him.
We are looking to see who Kai is with and to appeal to the public to take a really good look at his picture, and to the caregiver, if they are watching today, to just come forward to us so we can just have a look at Kai and make sure he's okay.
Police say this case does not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert, which are activated when an abduction has been confirmed and there is believed to be imminent danger to the child. Well, now to the latest in a CTV News investigation into the death of Chase de Ballenhard. Calls are continuing to grow this morning for the province to issue a public inquest into the police shooting. One MLA says the government has no reason to wait.
There have been other high-profile cases, which I myself have even advocated for, where the Premier has called for a coroner's inquest even before court proceedings have taken place. I do not understand in this case why the Premier is actually being so heartless as to deny the family this opportunity to learn more facts about what happened with their son Chase.
The 15-year-old was killed in the Clayton Heights neighborhood during an encounter with RCMP back in February. The province says the Independent Investigations Office is still probing the death, and until that is complete, an inquest won't move forward. Well, quite a scare for some transit passengers after police swarmed a SkyTrain car when a man with a knife was spotted on board. And our cameras caught the moment police sprung into action. So this happened yesterday morning at the Metrotown station. Police say a passenger on board was asleep with an open knife. They say an officer had followed the train in his car from the New Westminster station, where he then sprinted onto the platform. Once there, our camera saw a handful of officers had cleared the train. Transit police then searched for the man, but they didn't find him. No injuries were reported. Well, the Coquitlam RCMP is investigating reports of a series of suspicious fires in the Maillardville neighborhood. The most recent blaze happened shortly before 11 p.m. Tuesday at a home along the Hatchie Avenue area. Fire crews were able to knock down the flames. Everyone did get out safely. While Mounties did not say how many other fires have happened recently, they did say 3 other locations have been reported to have been hit with flames in the past week. No injuries have been reported, and Mounties are still investigating to see if any of these incidents are connected. A warning now, some of the content in this next story is graphic. Former Vancouver Canuck Willie Mitchell has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman in Tofino in 2022. The allegations are laid out in a civil lawsuit filed in BC Supreme Court Wednesday. The plaintiff, identified only by her initials, claims she worked at a resort co-owned and managed by Mitchell. The suit alleges Mitchell drove the intoxicated woman to his home and had sex with her without her consent. According to the statement of claim, the woman reported the incident to police the next day and also went to hospital for a forensic exam.
Cases, you are dealing with a beyond a reasonable doubt standard of proof. In civil, it's a balance of probabilities. So it's easier for a complainant to prove the case in civil court on a balance of probabilities than it would be for the state to prove the case in criminal court beyond a reasonable doubt.
CTV News has been unable to reach Mitchell or his representatives for comment. The allegations have not been tested in court. The Okanagan is bidding farewell to the Grand Fondo. After 14 years, the renowned cycling event will no longer be hitting the pavement in Penticton. Organizers say the cancellation is due to increasing costs and a shift in the type of races people in the cycling industry are looking for. The announcement also comes after the tragic crash at this year's event where a cyclist was killed and 2 others injured after being struck by a vehicle. The event's executive director says the incident took a serious toll on staff and volunteers. Well, the city of Vancouver has showed off some major infrastructure upgrades that they say will improve sustainability and livability for residents.
It's about families having peace of mind that their water is safe. It's about seniors, and for that matter, everyone who crosses the street, they can do it with confidence. And it's about kids biking to school safely.
$1 million was spent on the project in the Dunbar Southlands and Arbutus Ridge neighborhoods. Updates include replacing aging sewer and drinking water pipes along West King Edward Avenue. New green rainwater infrastructure was planted to prevent flooding and protect waterways from pollutants. And new safety features were also added to streets and intersections, including reconstructed curb ramps and medians. Well, onlookers were treated to quite the sight as a family of black bears explored a park in the Tri-Cities. A viewer sent us this video of a mama bear and 3 cubs playing around yesterday, even climbing a tree before heading down into a creek. The furry family delighting spectators and serving as a reminder of the wild neighbors we share our backyard with. Great video. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays now know which team they'll be facing in the next round of the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Popped up McMahon, and the Yankees have completed step 1 on their way back to a World Series.
The New York Yankees capped off their 3-game series with a 4-0 win against the Boston Red Sox to punch their ticket to the American League Division Series. This is the first time the Jays and Yankees will meet in the postseason, despite being division rivals. Their series starts tomorrow from the Rogers Centre in Toronto. Okay, Caroline, this is going to be such a great matchup because I know there's so many people who are obviously fans of the Jays, but fans of the Yankees too.
Yes, I am not okay. And if you're a fan of the Jays, you are so not a fan of the Yankees. Ooh, you can't like them both. You just can't. It's not normal. It's not natural. But the Jays won the season series against the Yankees, but the Yankees have been playing some really good baseball. I'm not okay. And
they're coming fresh off their last series here. So the Jays have had a little bit of a break to kind of watch what's going on. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah.
Good luck.
Ooh. Nobody call me, talk to me, breathe near me tomorrow. I'm busy. Go Jays, go. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. CTV Weather is brought to you by the BC Lions Gravy Bowl game this Saturday. That's tomorrow at 4. Enjoy a large beer garden and Thanksgiving turkey dinner as the Lions take on the Stampeders. Tickets at bclions.com. All right, current temperature in Vancouver, 10 degrees, hovering between 10 and 11 degrees. There's some fog patches out there right now, so if you're heading out on the roads, do watch out for that. Give yourself some extra time. As the morning goes on, the clouds come in. So unlike most of this week, you will not need your umbrella today. We're going to see a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day, mainly cloudy skies. And then as we head into tomorrow, it will be clearing up. A little bit of cloud cover to start your day, but then we will see some sun. So that is the great news there for your weekend. Let's talk about today, shall we? Our high is 16 degrees, which is our average. Last year we hit 14, and the record, we're not going to come anywhere close to that, 24 degrees, which was set back in 1980. So here's your day planner, friends. Mainly cloudy skies. You will not need your umbrella, so leave that at home. Haven't been able to say that for a few days. High of 16 degrees, which is our average. And yes, I've already teased it. We've got a delightful weekend ahead. Fists of fury. So excited.
Yeah, so excited. And it's Friday. Thanks for that, Caroline.
And it's Friday.
Well, daylight saving time and all the debate around it is back in the spotlight this morning.
I really don't like it. I find it messes up my sleep.
Yeah, one Liberal MP says it's time to stop changing our clocks. More on the political push reviving the debate still to come. But first,
I think SkyTrain would just revolutionize the UBC experience for so many people.
on board for a UBC SkyTrain, the renewed push to extend the Broadway mega project to reach the campus, but at what cost? That's coming up next. Welcome back. Buying a home has felt out of reach for many Canadians for quite some time, but a new snapshot is shedding some light on the affordability crisis. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee on where it's getting better and where it's not.
Getting the basic necessities, sometimes a calculated mission for many Canadians.
Buy the bare minimum. Put stuff back on the shelves.
A new federal report shows Calgary as one of the cities where affordability has worsened the last 2 years.
Prices seem to go up $1 every time you go into a store.
Even though the cost of a mortgage is still relatively low.
The higher the supply levels go up, typically we see prices go in the opposite direction of supply. And so we are starting to see that now.
In contrast, Edmonton was found to be the most affordable of the major metropolitans in the analysis. An economist says one of the possible reasons for the difference is that Edmonton is a government city.
Calgary might live and die by the oil and gas sector. The government is much, much less likely because it's much more unionized. So that stability also brings a greater amount of affordability.
Nationwide, the affordability gap narrowed from 80% in 2023 to 34% in August. Lower home prices, cheaper borrowing costs, and stronger wages, contributing factors that make it more accessible to pay for a mortgage and own a home.
We've seen a lot of labor disruptions built around the idea of asking for above average wage increases, which have also triggered then in the private sector the request for above average wage increases.
But for many, this hasn't happened.
Wages have not kept up with inflation.
Which means another day of getting by and holding out for better days. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, there are renewed calls on the feds and province to commit to extending the SkyTrain to the UBC Point Grey campus. Students say they need rapid transit and as they deal with lengthy commute times and crowded buses. CTV's Isabella Zavarisi has more.
60,000 students, faculty and staff commute to UBC campus daily. They come from across Metro Vancouver. Some spend hours riding the bus.
I think SkyTrain would just revolutionize the UBC experience for so many people.
More than 15,000 are on board, signing a petition by third-year student Solomon Kieran to extend the SkyTrain to the university.
I would make sure that all of Vancouver basically is within 45 minutes commute.
As of now, the Millennium Line extension, currently under construction, will stop at Broadway and Arbutus, forcing transit riders back on the bus to get to UBC.
It's just kind of kicking the can down the road. It's not actually a solution that's going to fix the problem of congestion, of overcrowding on buses.
The province and feds have made promises in the past to fund the line, but nothing has come to fruition.
After 17 years of inaction, we don't want that attention to go away. We want to make sure the government sees these demands and actually starts to act on them.
E. Kieran is hoping backing from Vancouver City Council may get the ball rolling again.
Luckily, there's something we can do about it.
City Councillor Lucy Maloney.
Councillors Sean Orr and Lucy Maloney are tabling a joint motion Wednesday asking higher levels of government to prioritize this. They believe the motion will pass.
When you're an advocate for something important, you can't just ask one time, then shrug your shoulders and give up. I know from my road safety advocacy that you have to ask again and again in different ways.
We think it's something that the province wants and the federal government wants in the end. It's just a matter of kind of keeping up that pressure.
E. Kieran won't back down, meeting with the Premier tomorrow and heading to the legislature next month to make the case for accessible rapid transit. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, major steps for an 8-year-old BC boy living with cerebral palsy.
To be able to give him a way to experience the world in a different dimension.
The boy walks for the first time with the help of robotic legs. Still to come, the major hurdle the family is now facing.
I really don't like it. I find it messes up my sleep.
Will we or won't we get rid of daylight saving time? We're going to hear from the Liberal MP who says it's time to stop changing our clocks.
I'm married to the hustle and now I know the life of a showgirl.
One of the most highly anticipated albums of the year is out. What you need to know about the life of a showgirl. Still to come.
Secrets are forever and now I know the life of a showgirl, babe. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is dollar. Yeah, there it is. Head to the contest page on ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter dollar along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Vancouver's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck.
Well, Taylor Swift's tortured poet era has come to an end, and now she's officially a showgirl. The Life of a Showgirl is Swift's 12th studio album, and there are 12 new songs on it. Taylor Swift has said her goal for the new album was to have, quote, melodies that were so infectious that you're almost angry at it. Along with the album, there's also a film. The official release party of A Showgirl will be in select theaters starting today. It will include the world premiere of the music video for the lead single, The Fate of Ophelia, along with behind-the-scenes footage, lyric videos, and never-before-seen personal reflections.
You were in it for real.
I smell money. That's what I smell. I mean, she's going to do well with this album no matter what, but she has this built-in fan base that are going to, listen to that album. They're going to promote that album and listen to it, and then they're going to go see the film.
Oh, yeah. That's all my social media feed was this morning when I woke up all sleepy, trying to find my glasses in the dark. It was all Taylor Swift stuff, and what does this song mean? So I'm, of course, texting our producer, Vanessa, what does this song mean? Have you seen this? And she's like, yeah, I've seen it. I've heard it.
But my daughter, I go to bed. I try to go to bed around 9:30, which is not enough sleep. My 16-year-old comes into my room, and she sat on my bed and was talking to me about these songs because she was listening to them. So, yeah, I guess we can expect a little bit more of that this weekend.
Yeah, more happiness, more good vibes. Go, Taylor. Make people happy in this world. All right, you know what's going to make you happy? The weather for this weekend. How's that for a segue? But first, let's talk about today, shall we? There are some fog patches in the Vancouver area, so if you're heading heading out on the roads, do give yourself some extra time. That will dissipate as the morning goes on. But do you know what else will dissipate as the morning and day goes on? The sunshine. More cloud cover will be coming in, but no rainfall. So unlike most of the mornings I've been telling you this week, you won't need your umbrella today in the Vancouver area. You will in Port Hardy, though. 12 degrees, some showers throughout the day. Campbell River, Comox, cloudy skies, high of 16. Cloudy in Tofino and Port Alberta. You're going to see a little bit of sunshine in Victoria and Nanaimo, high of 16 there. On the Sunshine Coast, mainly cloudy skies, 15 degrees. Mainly cloudy on the sea to sky between 12 and 14 degrees there. As for the lower mainland, we're going to hit a high of 16 degrees in Vancouver, 17 as you head toward the valley. And once again, as the day goes on, the clouds come in, but no showers, possibly in higher elevations, but no precipitation expected for today. Cloudy start to tomorrow, but then a mix of sun and cloud. And would you just look at Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday? Sorry, I got really loud there, but I get excited when I see sunshine and 17 degrees when it's October, Carrie.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice weekend. Thanks, Caroline. Well, most Canadians will make the switch from daylight saving to standard time early next month, but one Liberal MP is the latest to call for an end to the ritual of springing forward and falling back. She plans to table a private member's bill next week to end the time change. CTV's Martin McMahon has the story.
The time has come to address time change.
Twice a year, we change our clocks. In a month, we'll roll back an hour to standard time before jumping forward again in the spring. But Liberal MP Marie-France Lalonde is set to put forward a private member's bill. She wants a pan-Canadian conference to decide on a set time that we'd stick to year-round.
It is proven to negatively impact our public safety. Actually, we know that there's more road accidents, including pedestrians getting hit by cars, happen when the time changes.
Experts have long warned about the negative consequences of the time changes.
And this is also a question of health equity, because research tells us that some groups of the population are more affected than others. For example, children, teenagers, seniors, and people with chronic illnesses.
The BC Chamber of Commerce has been advocating for this approach for some time.
There is costs for small businesses to, be changing, whether it's computer systems or point of sale systems. Many of that's done automatically. I know now, but there are some costs, but there's also personal costs, just in terms of our own bodies and energy, and that also contributes to safety.
People on the streets of Vancouver seem to like the idea.
I would prefer not to fall back in the fall and have an hour more daylight.
I really don't like it. I find it messes up my sleep, and it takes days to kind of get adjusted.
I think it's a good idea to get rid of the daylight savings time. It causes a lot more problems and a lot of shock to people when they set back the clocks.
In 2019, BC passed legislation to switch to permanent daylight time. However, the change would happen only if and when Washington State, Oregon, and California do the same. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
Okay, yeah, so we are supposed to fall back in a month from now. Yeah. It'd be great if we didn't have to.
I know. But
so do you mind changing the clocks?
I mean, I was just whining in the back. It's only an hour, people. But I mean, when I lose that hour of daylight and when I lose that hour of sleep, do I complain? Yes. Do I get excited when I get that extra hour? Yes. So
something to look forward to every year. I mean, I don't know. That sounds crazy, but I think because we've been doing it for so long, it's just sort of part of what we do. But the sleep doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers a lot of people. So, and the daylight. All right, well, we'll see what happens. We'll wait. Vancouver's food scene just got a little more sparkle. We'll tell you which 2 local restaurants have just been awarded a coveted Michelin star. That is just ahead. Also, as the world remembers conservationist Jane Goodall, a Vancouver Island man is sharing his unique connection with a trailblazing scientist.
We cannot generate even a cent of sales.
How business owners are feeling the pinch as the BCGEU promises more job action ahead. Your top stories are next. Good morning. Welcome welcome to Your Morning Vancouver and happy Friday. The BCGEU strike is dragging into its 5th week, and with no deal in sight, the economic ripple effects are growing. Today, alcohol importers and private store owners say the labor dispute is now hitting their bottom line. Reagan Hasegawa joins us with more on this. Good morning, Reagan. So how is the stalemate starting to pour trouble into the liquor industry?
Good morning, Carrie. Striking BCGEU workers are vowing to ramp up their job action yet again. And while government liquor stores remain shuttered, the impact is now spreading beyond the picket lines, with private liquor stores and importers warning they're running out of product and time. Public service workers picketed outside the legislature yesterday, bringing their message directly to the NDP caucus. But while the political pressure builds, so does the financial costs. Pickets outside government liquor stores and the warehouses that move the product in and out have effectively cut off many suppliers.
It has cut off our business completely. We cannot generate even a cent of sales since last week. So what's effectively happening is we are bleeding money without any ability to generate revenue.
The union's latest demand is 8% raise over 2 years, and the government has offered a total of 5% so far. The union says it's preparing to escalate strike action in the days ahead, and that means customers could soon be the ones left with the empty shelves. Carrie?
Okay, we'll watch for that. Reagan Hasegawa joining us. Thanks, Reagan. Well, heading overseas now to a grim update to a grisly attack in Manchester, England. Police now say their officers may have accidentally shot 2 people, including one who died as they responded to Thursday's deadly attack at a synagogue. Police say it's believed the suspect, who has been identified as a 35-year-old British citizen of Syrian descent, was not carrying a gun, and the only shots fired were from police. 2 men were killed when the suspect drove a car into pedestrians and began stabbing several people outside a synagogue. Residents are still trying to come to grips with the attack and what it means for the United Kingdom.
One of the fears is that events of that nature can generate even greater hatred, I suppose, and that's one of the things that you hope won't happen.
Not the country I want to live in. Is somewhere where people are being affected so awfully for just living their life. It's definitely not what anyone wants, and it's really sad to see.
In the hours after the attack, pro-Palestinian protests took place in several British cities. At one point, demonstrators clashed with police near the Prime Minister's official Downing Street residence, leading to 40 arrests. In the U.S., Sean Diddy Combs is set to be sentenced this morning on 2 prostitution-related charges. Combs has been jailed in a detention facility in Brooklyn since his arrest in September of last year. He's facing up to 10 years in prison for each count of transportation to engage in prostitution. A jury in July acquitted Combs of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges, allowing him to avoid a possible life sentence. Well, there were instances of foreign interference in Canada's last federal election. That is according to a report from the Canadian government. The report, published yesterday, said they included things like online scams, threats, and disinformation. With that being said, these efforts were not believed to have affected the outcome of the election. They were characterized as small-scale and seen as difficult to attribute to a foreign actor. Well, if you're looking for somewhere to eat out this weekend, we have just the 2 places. 2 Vancouver restaurants have been awarded highly coveted Michelin stars. Sumbayaki Arashi, located in the Mount Pleasant area, received a star. The chef was applauded for ushering a new gold standard of chicken skewers. Meanwhile, Sushi Hun near Robson and Jervis also nabbed a star. It was praised for having Japanese luxury that pervades every element of the meal. Meanwhile, Vietnamese restaurant Good Thief was awarded the Bib Gourmand designation for offering high-quality food at a great value. 12 Vancouver restaurants now have a Michelin star. Okay, so congratulations to those restaurants. Although I want to say, if you want to go there, you should probably go like right now. Because they're going to be booked up. I'm sure they probably already are if they're that good.
Probably. But you gave me some neat ideas when I'm not watching sports all weekend. Go eat all of the good, delicious food we have here in the city.
Sounds delicious.
And how lucky are we to have some of the best restaurants in the country right here in Vancouver. All right, CTV weather brought to you by the BC Lions Gravy Bowl game this Saturday. That's tomorrow at 4. Enjoy a large beer garden. Yes. And Thanksgiving dinner as the Lions take on the Stampeders. Tickets at bclions.com. Right now in Vancouver, there's some fog out there. So if you haven't headed out the door yet, and if you are on the way out, do give yourself some extra time. Some fog patches are out there. And temperatures are pretty cool this morning. 10 in Vancouver, 9 in White Rock, 8 in Abbotsford. We will get a tad warmer from there today. 16 degrees is the high in Vancouver, which is the average. This time last year, we were at 24, but nowhere near the record that was set back in 1980. What a year that was, 24 degrees. As for your day planner, unlike the rest of the week where I was saying to bring your umbrella, you won't need it today. Going to be mainly cloudy skies, high of 16 degrees. As the day goes on, the clouds enter into the picture, and we've got a nice weekend ahead. So no rain in sight as yet. And then with that, let's check in with Mona.
Well, fall is here. Always my favorite time to cozy up on the couch with a nice book. And why not do that in a home that you love, a home that's your dream home? And this morning we're talking about how we can make that dream a reality with Erin Cybella. Good morning, Erin.
Good morning, Mona. Yes, welcome to our beautiful dream home here in Willoughby. It's a beautiful 1,500 square foot townhome by addition by RF Properties. And as you can feel and see, spacious and gorgeous with all the great things like 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2-car garage, and an absolutely epic rooftop deck. And with this prize, should you choose it, and it's one of 11 this year, we also have many other home packages, all worth over $3 million, plus a $2.5 million tax-free cash option this year. But should you choose this, it also comes with a vehicle, it comes with $1.65 million, and it comes with $50,000 in furnishings.
I love that. Now, this is one of several grand prize options this year. Plus, you have the biggest ever cash prize you've given away.
We do, $2.5 million this year, and of course, our bonus, which is why we're excited today. The early bird is our largest bonus, but you have to get tickets before midnight tonight to get in on that. There are so many options available. This year's early bird, one winner can choose from $125,000 in Travel Best Bet gift cards, plus a 2025 Audi Sportback, plus gas and groceries for a year. That's one choice. Or a 2025 Ford Lightning EV truck with a trailer, gas and groceries for a year, plus $15,000 in cash. Or you can choose $210,000 tax-free cash.
Oh my gosh, it all sounds incredible. And if that weren't enough, we're going to spend the morning touring around this beautiful grand prize home just in time for the BC Children's Hospital Dream Lottery's early bird deadline. So get your tickets now, and we'll be back with more next hour.
All right, thanks, Mona. Well, a report by the federal budget watchdog suggests that housing is actually becoming more affordable in Canada. Does that hold up for Metro Vancouver? How much progress has been made here for the average person? We'll dive into that coming up in our next half hour. But first,
I've never been at a loss of words about what to talk about or tell jokes about.
a friendship forged among the clouds, how a special mission in the air also built a special friendship. Stick around.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday forward. We're going to head to Game 3 in the Bronx. Yankees, Red Sox, top 8. It's 4-0 Yankees. Jarren Duran pops it into foul territory. Ryan McMahon gives chase and makes the fantastic catch. Goes head over heels and flips into the Red Sox dugout, but manages to hold on. McMahon delivering the play of the postseason so far, and he is your must-see moment from Thursday. Friday on TSN, Week 18, and the CFL kicks off with the Rough Riders taking on the Red Blacks. Pre-game coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Discover Surrey with a chance to choose from a collection of Surrey's signature experiences for you and 3 friends. Choose 4 of 8 locally led and thoughtfully designed adventures and explore, taste, and connect with one of Canada's most diverse cities. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen for a chance to win. Good luck.
Well, an 8-year-old boy living with cerebral palsy was given the opportunity to walk on his own for the first time last week using robotic legs. His mother says the experience was transformative but expensive and is now looking for a way to purchase the technology. CTV's Brendan Strain has the story.
Elliot Burns had a challenging start to life, born premature at 32 weeks, fighting for his life.
We knew from the get-go that potentially he would have disabilities. We didn't really know what it would be and what it would display like.
Soon it became clear to doctors what Elliot was up against.
He ended up having cerebral palsy, and he's quadriplegic. He can move willingly, but it's complicated for him.
Elliot's mother, Genevieve Perron, says her son's a fighter and never let his disability hold him back. Now at the age of 8, Elliot is wheelchair bound.
He has to do walk-in exercises every day in a traditional walker that's cumbersome and difficult.
Any kid with a motor impairment issue we can usually work with.
Mark Robert is with the Ontario-based company Truxa Robotics, which produces smart robotic legs that attach to a walker.
The beauty of it is it tracks how much effort that the child is putting into the step and then alter the settings on the machine based off of the readout that we're getting.
It's expensive, coming in at around $50,000. Last week, the company came to Victoria, allowing families to try out the device.
Knowing that this was a very expensive device that I have no means to provide for him, but I wanted to give it the experience and give it a try.
What Elliot experienced was nothing short of transformative.
Wow, that was a revelation. His smile.
Elliot's demeanor changed.
He's normally very hunched down. He sort of raised up. His little hands were very soft, which means that his muscles were not contracted.
And for the very first time, Genevieve was able to walk hand in hand with her son.
It really made me, tear up.
Afterwards, Genevieve shared the family's experience online, knowing that was most likely the last time Elliot would get a chance to use the robotic device. Then her friends pitched her an idea.
Why don't we try to do this together? Why don't we fundraise?
Now Genevieve has embarked on that fundraising effort through supportnow.org. The website operates like a GoFundMe, although it was developed for families with kids with special needs issues. It will allow 100% of donations to go directly to the cause.
I want to be able to give him a way to experience the world in a different dimension. There's nothing in the world I wouldn't give for that.
Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
Well, to a man now whose journey in life hasn't only been about reaching his destination. It's also been about making a difference. Here's CTV's Garrett Berry on the pilot who's landed right into the record books.
This pair have been a lot of places over the past month.
Sunday, we only have, I think, an hour and a half flight to...
But this layover is a record setter. After their 10-hour flight from the Azores in Portugal to St. John's, Ed Galkin and his team believe he's become the oldest aviator to cross the Atlantic in a single-engine airplane, a 1976 Cessna.
We don't find it boring. I'm up there, I look around, I look down, and I say, boy, it's great being up here. It's a big ocean, and a lot of problems that you think you have, you really don't have it.
It's not just for the history books. This journey is a fundraiser for the Rotary Club's work in taking on polio around the world. The second one in a series that's already raised millions for the cause.
We've seen the greatness of Rotary and all these other organizations united together to end polio. So we don't have hope. More importantly, we believe we are seeing the end of polio.
Their friendship is a new one. These men spent just a few hours on the phone and meeting before setting off on this 5-week trip together in one of the smallest airplanes you'll ever find.
We definitely didn't have too much difficulty handling each other.
We've never been at a loss of words about what to talk about or tell jokes about. And sometimes I get irritable and sometimes he gets irritable. And usually within minutes, we're off talking about something else.
It's Ed's second world record. He's also believed to be the oldest to navigate the globe in a single-engine aircraft.
Well, I guess I'm number one.
He says if conflict and unrest subsides around the world, he might consider an around-the-world journey one more time. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Well, many businesses are making big moves these days, from Amazon launching grocery stores to the latest at Lego. Jimmy Fallon has your late laugh coming up.
Put the needle on the record, put the needle on the record, put the needle on the record when the drum beats go like this.
On this day in 1987, this British-made house hit, the only hit by recording collective Mars, went to #1 on the UK singles charts. Pump up the volume on this Friday morning. We have your milestones coming up next.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.
Time now for your milestones. First up this morning, happy first birthday to Amelia. Love from your family.
Happy 13th birthday to TJ Germano. We're so proud of you and hope you have an amazing birthday. Love from Mommy, Daddy, Presley, Bauer, Tony, and Noel.
Don't look now, there's a bear behind you. Oh. Happy 92nd birthday to Annabelle Bouzain with love from all of your family and friends.
Happy 14th birthday to Ryder Hastings. Love from Mom, Zoe, and all your family.
Happy 90th birthday, Mom. We love you. Love from your family.
Happy birthday to Emerald. We hope you have a fun birthday. You are such a gem. Love from your family.
Happy 50th birthday to Kurt Kolb. Always a perpetual motion with love from Aiden, Zachary, and Karina.
Happy 99th birthday, nice, to Gurmeet Najjar with love from your friends and family.
Beautiful bouquet. And happy birthday, Norma Jean, with love from all your cool cats.
Oh, happy birthday to Raul, wishing you love and good health. Love from Mommy, Essie, Raulin, Essien, and Relvin.
And happy 8th birthday to Massey. You bring so much love and joy to our family. Love from Tutu.
Happy 8th birthday to Maya. We love you to the moon and back. Oh, love from Ryan, Lily, Luna, and Timia.
That's a dog. It's a doggy. So cute. Send us your milestones to BC Milestones at ctv.ca. Caroline.
Yes, Carrie. Let's take a look at the forecast. Oh, a beautiful shot there to start the weather. And it's not going to stay like that. Well, it kind of will. We're going to see mainly cloudy skies today, but unlike most of the week, you don't need your umbrella today. Well, you will in Port Hardy a little bit, 12 degrees there. Cloudy in Campbell River, Comox, high of 16 degrees. Cloudy in Tofino and Port Alberni, 16 in Nanaimo and Victoria. You'll see a little bit of sun there. Sunny breaks in Seashelt and Powell River on the sea to sky between 12 and 14 degrees. In the lower mainland between 16 and 17 degrees. As the day goes on, the clouds will enter into the picture, but no precipitation as of yet, at least for the next 5 days. And would you just look at the weekend and look into Tuesday? Nothing but sunshine. From Amazon launching grocery stores to the latest at Lego, here's Jimmy Fallon with your late laugh.
Amazon is launching their own grocery line with most items under $5. They're just like regular groceries, except now a dozen eggs are called a dozen Exos. They got ears.
Yeah.
Get this, in a new video, the head of Instagram said, "I swear we do not listen to your microphones." I want to believe them, but I just asked someone if Instagram is listening to me, and that video popped up. Apparently, Instagram doesn't listen to people through their microphones. Meanwhile, Apple and Amazon are like, just keep your head down, don't make eye contact, don't make eye contact. They're not looking at you. Speaking of technology, I saw that Sesame Street is partnering with Google to teach kids on how to have a healthy relationship with technology.
Oh.
Yeah, parents were like, did you say something? I was looking at TikTok, sorry. Ever retail workers at a Lego store in the U.S. are trying to unionize.
Ooh.
Yeah. The company might have a problem because we all know with Lego, once they stick together, they're almost impossible to pull them apart. Especially those little ones. Tiny ones. Honey, get the steak knife. You know you've done it. Lego workers were like, you guys should know you can't walk all over us. It hurts. Your feet.
Yeah, have you ever stepped on those? They do really hurt.
That one resonated with the mom of the bunch here.
Totally. But also, how about the Amazon grocery? Like, so you're gonna have groceries delivered to you now? Is this what we're gonna see?
I mean, so many people, so many apps deliver food. I feel like this is probably even in the
next
I was
step.
gonna say in the States maybe they don't, but I know that they do in the States too. So I guess what's new about it is you can link it to your Amazon, so it's free delivery.
Right.
Whereas a lot of like Instacart, you have to pay an extra fee.
Right. So it's one more thing you can add to your cart that you're already ordering stuff through them anyway. But it's going to be called Amazon Grocery. Like that's creative.
Just another thing that will make us not need to leave our house.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Get outside.
Okay. Well, parents with young children, they want to go out to dinner, but if their child is loud, should they have to leave the restaurant?
A parent, no kid should feel like they don't belong because of another customer.
Well, confrontation between an angry restaurant patron and the mother of an 8-month-old is going viral and sparking debate. We'll have that still to come.
I think SkyTrain would just revolutionize the UBC experience for so many people.
On board for a UBC SkyTrain, the renewed push to extend the Broadway mega project all the way to reach the campus, but at what cost? What you need to know about the release of one of the most highly anticipated albums of the year. Stick around, we have your top stories next.
It has cut off our business completely.
Anxious business owners say the BCGEU strike is costing them money. This as the union vows to escalate job action. Calling for changes to SkyTrain, why thousands want transit extended to UBC's campus in Point Grey.
And the Yankees have completed step one on their way back to a World Series.
And the Yankees are Toronto bound. How New York punched their ticket to the American League Division Series coming up. It's Friday, October 3rd. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. We begin with breaking news this morning. Prime Minister Mark Carney is headed to Washington next week to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump amid the ongoing trade war. This would be Carney's second visit to Washington as Prime Minister. A release from his office says the meeting will focus on, quote, shared priorities in a new economic and security relationship between Canada and the U.S. Now, Carney will head stateside on Tuesday evening with the meeting with Trump set for Wednesday, October 7th. Well, turning now to the growing frustration among business owners caught up in a bitter labor impasse. The BCGEU strike is now in its 5th week, and the union says the public will really begin to feel the impact in the next few days. Reagan Hasegawa joins us now. Reagan, so what are you hearing from both sides here?
Good morning, Carrie. Striking public service workers took their message to the legislature this week, and while the pickets began outside of liquor store warehouses, the impact is now spreading.
They're exercising their democratic rights, and that is not something that is new in this province.
5 weeks into the strike, certain sectors are feeling the pinch, especially businesses relying on alcohol. Importers say their products are stuck in warehouses with no way to move stock onto shelves. Private stores that initially benefited from the closure of government-owned outlets are now starting to see empty shelves too. The union is demanding an 8% raise over 2 years, while the government is holding at 5%. And with more than 1,000 additional picketers joining the lines this week, the BCGEU warns the public disruption is about to escalate.
Within the next week, there'll be a vastly increased impact on the general public. Unfortunately, that's unavoidable. Government failed to come back with a reasonable deal.
Public service workers say they'll be back on the lawns of the legislature Monday as politicians return to work for the fall session. Carrie?
Reagan Hasegawa joining us. Thanks, Reagan. Well, meanwhile, with no end in sight to the ongoing Canada Post strike, some workers are holding an information picket line this morning. This is the scene at a Purolator shipping centre in Vaughan, Ontario. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says the goal is to educate the public about the current labour situation. The union is trying to negotiate a new contract and opposes proposed government budget cuts that include ending door-to-door delivery and closing some rural post offices.
What Canada Post plan is, and what the government has bought into, is that there's going to be a mailbox down the street for everybody, and that that you will go to that mailbox, either, on your street or in some places up to 3 or 4 kilometers away, and you'll get your parcel there. That's not feasible for a lot of Canadians.
Canada Post says it is facing deep financial trouble and the cost-cutting steps are necessary. Well, Mounties in Burnaby are continuing their search this morning for a missing 11-year-old boy. Last Friday, RCMP say they received a request for a well-being check for Kai Pavlovich. They say they spoke to Kai's family and have reason to believe he may be staying with a caregiver who isn't known to police. Now, Kai's whereabouts still have not been confirmed, and police say they are working around the clock to find him.
Today we are looking to see who Kai is with and to appeal to the public to take a really good look at his picture, and to the caregiver, if they are watching today, to just come forward to us so we can just have a look at Kai and make sure he's okay.
Police say this case does not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert, which is activated when an abduction has been confirmed and there is believed to be imminent danger to a child. Well, now to the latest in a CTV News investigation into the death of Chase de Ballenhard. Calls are growing this morning for the province to issue a public inquest into the police shooting. One MLA says the government has no reason to wait.
There have been other high-profile cases, which I myself have even advocated for, where the Premier has called for a coroner's inquest even before court proceedings have taken place. I do not understand in this case why the Premier is actually being so heartless as to deny the family this opportunity to learn more facts about what happened with their son Chase.
The 15-year-old was killed in the Clayton Heights neighborhood during an encounter with RCMP back in February. The province says the Independent Investigations Office is still probing the death, and until that is complete, an inquest won't move forward. Well, quite a scare for some transit passengers after police swarmed a SkyTrain car looking for a man on board spotted with a knife. It happened yesterday morning at the Metrotown station. Police say a passenger on board was asleep with an open knife. They say an officer had followed the train in his car from the New Westminster station, where he then sprinted onto the platform. Once there, our camera saw a handful of officers had cleared the train. Transit police then searched for the man, but they did not find him. No injuries were reported. Well, there are renewed calls to commit to extending the SkyTrain to the UBC Point Grey campus. Around 15,000 people have signed a petition calling on the province and feds for action. Around 60,000 students, faculty and staff commute to the campus daily from across Metro Vancouver. As of now, the Millennium Line extension, currently under construction, will stop at Broadway and Arbutus, forcing commuters to get back on a bus to get to UBC. Vancouver City Councillor Sean Orr and Lucy Maloney are tabling a joint motion next week, asking higher levels of government to make this a priority.
You're an advocate for something important. You can't just ask one time, then shrug your shoulders and give up. I know from my road safety advocacy that you have to ask again and again in different ways.
We think it's something that the province wants and the federal government want in the end. It's just a matter of kind of keeping up that pressure.
The petition organizer is set to meet with the Premier today and the legislature next month to make the case for accessible rapid transit. The Toronto Blue Jays now know which team they'll be facing in the next round of the Major League Baseball playoffs.
McMahon, and the Yankees have completed step one on their way back to a World Series.
The New York Yankees capped off their 3-game series with a 4-0 win against the Boston Red Sox to punch their ticket to the American League Division Series. This is the first time the Jays and Yankees will meet in the postseason despite being division rivals. Their series starts tomorrow from the Rogers Centre in Toronto. Should be good. Well, Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets era has come to an end. Now she's officially a showgirl. The Life of a Showgirl is Swift's 12th studio album, and and there are 12 new songs on it. So far, the reviews are glowing. Swift has said her goal for the new album was to have, quote, melodies that were so infectious that you're almost angry at it. Along with the album, there's also a film. The official release party of a Showgirl will be in select theaters across the country starting today. It will include the world premiere of the music video for the lead single, The Fate of Ophelia, along with other goodies for fans. Okay, so I know a lot of people are going to be talking about the album today. In fact, it's, you know, if you have a Swiftie in your life, it's literally all they're going to be talking about.
And you know what? It's all good fun. I mean, so much positivity. That's what Taylor Swift promotes. Positivity, happiness. Why not? I'm here for it.
Have you listened to the whole album yet?
I have not. I'm downloading it right now.
Oh, okay. Sure you are.
I am. And I am going to listen to it. I haven't listened to a full album since, gosh, maybe Motley Crue in high school. But
yeah, it's been a long time for me, too. I'll probably just hear the songs here and there and then pick my favorites. But yeah.
No, I promised my favorite Swiftie that I would listen to the whole album. I'm a woman of my word. Okay, we'll get back and I'll report on it later. No. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. CTV weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. Right now in Vancouver, it is cool. It's 11 degrees and some fog patches are out there. So if you haven't left the house yet, give yourself some extra time. Visibility will be limited. But as the morning goes on, the fog will dissipate. As the morning goes on, the sun will also dissipate and the clouds will enter into the picture. Here's your forecast highs for the province. In Kelowna, you're going to see a mix of sun and cloud, 21 degrees, some showers in Prince George and Bella Coola. 15 degrees will be the high in Masset. Your almanac for today, Vancouver will be hitting a high of 16 degrees, which is the average, but a touch warmer than we were last year and nowhere near the record set back in 1980 when we hit 24 degrees. Your day planner is as such. Mainly cloudy skies today, 16 degrees. As I said, fog patches this morning, but as the morning goes on, that will dissipate, but so will the sun. Mainly cloudy skies, so unlike the rest of the week where I've been saying bring your umbrella, you won't need it today, and you're definitely not going to need it this weekend. Carrie?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Caroline. Well, we just reached the next milestone in the countdown to the World Cup. FIFA just unveiled the official match ball. So what makes this one so special? We are checking it out right here in studio coming up. But first, do you feel like housing is becoming more affordable in Canada? Up next, we dive into the surprising findings of a new federal report. Stay with us. A report by the federal budget watchdog suggests that housing is actually becoming more affordable in Canada, and that includes BC. But just how much progress has been made here, and is it enough to truly make a dent for the average person? For more, let's welcome in Adil Danani from Royal LePage West. Good morning, Adil. Good to see you.
Good morning, Carrie. Nice to be with you.
So the affordability gap is the gap between the average home price and what the typical household can afford. So this report says that gap in Vancouver is at 21%, which is actually better than in places like Calgary, Victoria, and Toronto by comparison. Does that track with what you are seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that affordability gap is certainly narrowing. I think that's largely, attributed to prices. We've seen prices from pandemic peaks to where they are today come down in certain markets up to 20%. So that's definitely going to add more affordability into the market. And as we saw last month, the Bank of Canada is on this path of cutting interest rates, and we're expecting another rate cut this October. So every little bit has that compounding effect to buyer affordability. We are generally in a buyer's market here in Metro Vancouver across all segments, whether you're buying a condo or a detached home. So buyers at this moment in time really have the upper hand at the negotiating table.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of product out there. By the way, that next Bank of Canada rate announcement is October 29th. So the report says that mortgage debt service ratios have improved in Vancouver. This is the share of household income that goes towards paying off a home loan. However, it's still really high. Do you believe that we're going to see further improvements, or is this really as good as it's going to get?
In the Greater Vancouver market, generally 50% of an individual's income goes to servicing mortgage debt. And we're still at those elevated levels. They say a healthy percentage is around 32%, but I've been on the front lines here helping folks in the real estate market for over 20 years. I've never seen it at that 30% range. I think Vancouver in general has always been a very expensive market, and it'll continue to stay expensive. I think if you look, though, at some of these peripheral markets, remember during the COVID era, Carrie, the peripheral markets went up 25, 30% in value, and now we're seeing those areas go disproportionately lower. So, you know, the reason why prices have come down substantially over the last, say, 12 to 24 months is this is really a buyer's market that's stalled by uncertainty, right? There's a lot of uncertainty around the economy, uncertainty around price stability, right? If you're a buyer, you really want the fog to clear before you go out and make a big decision. Like, no buyer wants to buy something today if it could potentially be worth less tomorrow. So they're really looking for price stability.
And could governments be doing more to make housing more affordable in BC?
The federal government, as soon as the Carney government came into play, we saw a massive incentive on new homes construction, and they're trying to get that market going again. It's really been stalled, and they're having no GST incentive up to $1 million. So I think we've seen more activity in that townhouse segment, especially in the Fraser Valley, where townhouses can be purchased between, you know, the $750,000 and $950,000 price bracket. That's a $45,000 savings for a home buyer, in addition to the property transfer tax exemption on new home construction. So there are some good incentives out there, and we're eager to see what the new budget brings us as well this fall.
Okay, we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. But before I let you go here, what do you see playing out in local markets this fall and winter? Is it going to continue to be a buyer's market, or could we see a move to a seller's market at some point?
Whenever you have more sellers than buyers in a market, you generally have price softness, and that's what we're seeing now, right? We're in a buyer's market environment across all segments, and that'll continue to be the narrative, in my opinion, over the next 6 to 12 months. We are starting to see more sales at lower prices, which is encouraging, but our anticipation is until we see more meaningful rate cuts, that this will be the norm for the next 6 to 12 months.
Adil Danani from Royal LePage, thanks so much for joining us this morning with your insights. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Okay, have a good day. Well, with the rising cost of living, maybe it's time to ask for a raise. We're going to have more on the reasons why some employees are reluctant to ask for a salary boost and which professions are most likely to get one. That's coming up in our next half hour. But first,
No kids should feel like they don't belong because of another customer.
Why a confrontation between an angry restaurant patron and the mother of an 8-month-old is going viral and sparking a debate. Stick around.
Support research breakthroughs from cancer to heart disease and brain health through the BC Children's Hospital Dream Lottery. Check out these early bird bonus prizes worth $300,000. Choose a $125,000 luxury travel adventure, an Audi SQ5 plus gas and groceries for a year, or a Ford F-150, a trailer plus gas and groceries for a year, or choose $210,000 cash. 50 more winners will receive $1,000 cash. Early bird deadline, midnight Friday. Welcome back to CTV Your Morning Vancouver. It is 7:22. It is Friday, and it's going to be a pretty decent day ahead. Let's take a look at your forecast. Port Hardy, some showers today and 12 degrees. Canberra River, Comox, cloudy skies, high of 16 though. Cloud cover in Tofino and Port Alberni. And Nanaimo and Victoria, though, you'll see a little bit of sunshine and a high of 16 degrees. A little bit of sun will peek out in the Sunshine Coast, 15 degrees in Powell River and Sechelt. On the sea to sky between 12 and 14 degrees. As for the lower mainland, you're going to see a highs between 16 and 17 degrees. As the day goes on, more clouds will enter into the picture, but no precipitation is expected, unlike the rest of the week that we just experienced. All right, we've got a delightful weekend ahead. A little bit of cloud cover tomorrow, but look at Sunday. Look at Monday. Look at Tuesday. Nothing but sunshine. You love to see it. 17 degrees and sun as we are in October. And now it's time for our scenic snapshot. Beautiful sunset from White Rock. Thank you, Maurizio, for sending this in. If you want your photo featured, email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Wow, gorgeous shot there. Thanks, Caroline. Well, now to the confrontation over a noisy child in a restaurant that is stirring debate online. It involves two customers and a request for one of them to leave. Here's ABC's Victor Okendo.
So this gentleman here is telling me to tell my 8-month-old to stop screaming.
It's the video sparking a fierce debate over whether babies should be allowed to remain in restaurants when they get a little loud. V. Whitaker says she brought her 8-month-old daughter, Montana, to this Georgia cafe for lunch when Montana started making noise. That's when another diner told her Montana's screams were hurting his sensitive ears.
You need to learn to be respectful.
She's a child, sir. It's not me. I didn't do anything.
He told Whitaker if she couldn't keep her infant quiet, she should leave. But Whitaker says she and her child have a right to eat out like everyone else.
I'm telling him, you can leave. I don't have to leave. If you have a problem with it, you can leave.
A manager eventually came over and the complaining diner left the restaurant. Whitaker then shared the encounter on social media. One person responding, "It's a public place. Babies are going to be in public. You have to prepare yourself for this as an adult." While others saying it's the parent's responsibility to calm a child down. This person writing, "If the baby is constantly screaming, it gets annoying," adding, "I get his point."
No parent, no kid should feel like they don't belong because of another customer.
Oh, I feel like this is such a tricky debate, especially for those of us who have children. And I know when I had young children, I didn't like being in a restaurant when they were being loud, and I would, carry them around and hopefully they'd calm down. So Reagan, with Naomi, and now you have another one on the way, do you feel comfortable if they're making noise in the restaurant?
I do. It's definitely like a challenging one because you feel bad when the baby's making noise. I think most people, for the most part, are really understanding and, they'll make silly faces or make light of it. Most people are good, but there are, you get the dirty looks or whatever. And there is a point where if your child is screaming, you should maybe decide it.
But there is a line at one point.
There is.
How do you guys feel?
I mean, yeah, it's disruptive to a meal, especially if you're going out and you're paying for a service. But it's a baby's a baby. Like, what am I going to do? I don't want to guilt someone for bringing their child to a restaurant either.
Some adults make too much noise in a restaurant too. So I want to ask some 40-year-olds to leave.
It's rare, though.
Talking on their phones and whatnot.
It's pretty rare that it happens.
Well, yeah, but it happens at times, and obviously it happened in that case. Okay, so you might have noticed it. FIFA and Adidas have unveiled the official match ball for the next year's World Cup. So Trianda, which means 3 waves, will feature vibrant colors and symbols representing the 3 host nations. You'll be able to buy your own official match ball beginning today. And of course, Vancouver is one of the host cities for the FIFA World Cup next June. So you will probably be seeing a lot of these match balls around the region. And we're lucky enough to have one right here in studio. It's got all the 3 colors.
I want to touch it so bad.
Some incredible designs and patterns. What do you guys think about it?
It's really cool. Different colors. It's cool that you can touch it. Can I touch it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's got good grip.
Yeah, good.
Can we kick it around later, or is that?
Whoa!
Look at Carrie with the skills here.
Ronaldo.
Carrie's got skills.
It's easy when you're sitting down. But this is the official ball. I guess they go through several match balls in a match.
I feel like it would have been nice if there was some Indigenous art on the Canadian part of it.
There's a maple leaf.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely patterns. I mean, is that,
Are we red? Well, yeah, with the red maple leaf.
Anyway, it is quite a nice ball. I'd like to know a little more about the symbolizing.
Sturdy.
Yeah, sure is. Okay, well, we'll play with that. In the meantime, Yogi Bear carried a picnic basket. Remember that? But where did he get all the things inside? Maybe it looked something like this. That's a bear at a grocery store. How the quick sprinting bear surprised shoppers. Wow, that's incredible. Plus, Sean Diddy Combs is facing up to 10 years in prison. He's set to be sentenced later this morning. What we know about preparations ahead of that. And
we cannot generate even a cent of sales.
How business owners are feeling the pinch as the BCGEU promises more job action ahead. Your top stories are coming up. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. The BCGEU strike is dragging into its 5th week, and with no deal in sight, the economic ripple effects are growing. Today, alcohol importers and private store owners say the labor dispute is now hitting their bottom line. Reagan Hasegawa joins us now. So, Reagan, how is this stalemate starting to pour trouble into the liquor industry?
Good morning, Carrie. Striking BCGEU workers are vowing to ramp up their job action again, and while government stores remain shuttered, the impact is now spreading beyond picket lines, with private liquor stores and importers warning they're running out of product and time. Public service workers picketed outside the legislature yesterday, bringing their message directly to the NDP caucus. But while the political pressure builds, so does the financial costs. Pickets outside government liquor stores and the warehouses that move product in and out have effectively cut off many suppliers.
It has cut off our business completely. We cannot generate even a cent of sales since last week. So what's effectively happening is we are bleeding money without any ability to generate revenue.
The union's latest demand is an 8% raise over 2 years. The government has offered a total of 5%. The union says it's preparing to escalate strike action in the days ahead, and that means customers could soon be the ones with the empty shelves. Carrie?
Reagan Hasegawa joining us. Thanks, Reagan. Well, turning now to breaking news. With no end in sight to the ongoing trade war with the United States, the Prime Minister says he's headed to Washington next week. Mark Carney is set to travel to Washington Tuesday night before a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday. A brief release from Carney's office says it will be a working visit and meeting focused on shared priorities in a new economic and security relationship between Canada and the U.S. This will be Carney's second visit to Washington since he was elected Prime Minister. Well, there were instances of foreign interference in Canada's last federal election. That is according to a report from the Canadian government. The report published yesterday said they included things like online scams, threats, and disinformation. With that being said, these efforts were not believed to have affected the outcome of the election. They were characterized as small-scale and seen as difficult to attribute to a foreign actor. Well, it's now been 5 months, and there is still no trace of 2 missing children in Nova Scotia.
Well, they brought in resources from other provinces. They're doing everything they can, but they need tips and they need the public's help in some way because somebody out there knows something and they're not saying.
4-year-old Jack and 6-year-old Lily were reported missing from their home in Lansdowne Station May 2nd. Police say investigators have received more than 800 tips so far. The search has involved hundreds of volunteers, experts, and police on the ground and in the air. Police say they will give an update on the search next week. In the U.S., Sean Diddy Combs is set to be sentenced this morning on 2 prostitution-related charges. Combs has been jailed in a detention facility in Brooklyn since his arrest in September of last year. He is facing up to 10 years in prison for each count of transportation to engage in prostitution. A jury in July acquitted Combs of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges, allowing him to avoid a possible life sentence. To California now, where a Chevron oil refinery went up in flames overnight, sending a massive fireball into the night sky. ABC's Trevor Alt has more.
Firefighters rushing to the scene in El Segundo, California around 9:30 last night, trying to tackle that gigantic blaze. Several fires burning within the facility.
Yeah, we have heavy flames showing from the refinery. I'll need a truck company with a master stream to respond to this.
Towering flames and billowing smoke turning the night sky red. The inferno could be seen for miles. That blast so strong, residents say they thought it was an earthquake or a plane crash.
Yeah, it was a terrible explosion, very loud, shook the house like more than any earthquake ever before.
Out of control, for sure, and we didn't know what was going to happen next.
Those residents were told to stay indoors and shelter in place after concerns about the air quality.
There are several massive flames coming from the refinery. That right there appears to be the epicenter of this explosion that occurred.
At times, it seemed like the fire was under control, and then it would flare back up again. The smoke traveling to nearby LAX, blanketing the planes on the tarmac. That oil refinery is the largest on the West Coast, spanning 2 square miles. It supplies more than 40% of the jet fuel and more than 20% of the motor vehicle fuel for Southern California. Not yet clear what caused this explosion, but no injuries have been reported.
Well, turning to a grim update now on a grisly attack in Manchester, England. Police now say their officers may have accidentally shot 2 people, including one who died as they responded to Thursday's deadly attack at a synagogue. Police say it's believed the suspect, who has been identified as a 35-year-old British citizen of Syrian descent, was not carrying a gun, and the only shots fired were from police. 2 men were killed when the suspect drove a car into pedestrians and began stabbing several people outside a synagogue. Residents are still trying to come to grips with the attack and what it means for the United Kingdom.
One of the fears is that events of that nature can generate even greater hatred, I suppose, and that's one of the things that you hope won't happen.
Not the country I want to live in is somewhere where people are being affected so awfully for just living their life. It's definitely not what anyone wants, and it's really sad to see.
In the hours after the attack, pro-Palestinian protests took place in several British cities. At one point, demonstrators clashed with police near the Prime Minister's official Downing Street residence, leading to 40 arrests. Germany's Munich airport has reopened this morning after drone sightings forced it to close and cancel several flights on Thursday. At least 17 flights were grounded yesterday, affecting nearly 3,000 passengers, and another 15 flights were diverted to nearby cities, according to the airport. There is no confirmation yet on where the drones originated from. Several airports across Europe have had to close in recent weeks because of unidentified drones. European authorities have expressed concern that Russia could be behind them, though the Kremlin has rejected those claims. A Nanaimo man is sharing his personal story about a letter he received from renowned researcher Jane Goodall. It happened after she took an interest in his work about wolf conservation.
I've always loved wolves. I read Jack London as a child and began my fascination with Canadian wildlife.
Well, that's Gary Allen reading the letter. He had seen Goodall featured in a documentary about wolves, so about 9 years ago, he reached out to her through the Jane Goodall Institute of Canada. He says Goodall admired the work he was doing in educating school children across BC about wolf conservation.
Word that I could use that I think really captivates her personality is graciousness.
He says he and his wolf dog Tundra got to meet Goodall when she came to Kelowna for a speaking engagement back in 2018. And when Tundra passed a few years later, he reached out to Goodall once again, who responded with her condolences. Goodall passed away this week at the age of 91. Well, several years after it came to an end, a popular crime drama series is plotting its return to streaming.
And my Peaky Blinders rest.
Netflix has confirmed that it's ordered 2 seasons of a new Peaky Blinders show. The original followed the story of a street gang with its leader, played by Cillian Murphy. Creator Stephen Knight has signed on for the sequel series, which will be set in 1953 with a new set of characters. Murphy is signed on as an executive producer. He's also starring in an upcoming Peaky Blinders feature film. How would you react if you saw this the next time you're at the grocery store? Okay, so watch closely. That's a bear. It surprised shoppers at a store in Arizona. Oh, there it is. Oh, my goodness. Apparently, it walked right into the front door and ran around inside for a few minutes before making a break for it. Shoppers did not, they were surprised, but they say it didn't do much damage. It just ran around to their shock. Okay.
Just trying to shop.
That would, but it's a, I don't know, maybe it was looking for food. I mean, if you're looking for groceries, you go to the grocery store.
I know. Well, that's where you go. I mean, the store probably took over his home, and so much. I would meet my demise by trying to make friends with the bear. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. CTV weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. Your current temperatures throughout parts of the province right now, pretty cool. 2 in Cranbrook, 3 in Kelowna, 8 in Prince George, and we will get just a touch warmer from there. Current temperatures throughout the lower mainland steadily rising. 9 in Chilliwack already, 8 in Surrey, already 14 in North Van. Your almanac for Vancouver today, our high will be 16 degrees, which is our average. Last year we were at 14, but we're going to be nowhere near the record, which was hit in 1980 at 24 degrees. So unlike what I was telling you for the last few weeks, you will not need your umbrella as you leave the house today. It's going to be mainly cloudy skies as the day goes on. The clouds will enter into the picture. Going to be pleasant, 16 degrees, mainly cloudy, but just you wait to the weekend that we have ahead. It's going to be a nice one. Now let's check in with Mona.
There's definitely a lot you can do with this outdoor space. Now, if you're a sun soaker like myself, one of the grand prize options that I really loved was the one that you guys shot in Kelowna. Tell us about that home, because you got to experience that lifestyle.
Well, we actually have 2 packages in Kelowna. We have one that's really geared towards wine country, and we have one at Predator Ridge. So you can live the golf lifestyle, you can live the wine and the lake lifestyle.
I'll take that one.
We even have a boat as part of the prizing. So I know you're a boat girl, you're a lake girl, yeah. So the options are endless, right? You know, you can live on a golf course, you can live by the lake, you can drink the wine, you can have friends over and celebrate and support your community. BC Children's Hospital.
I love it. All of that, or you can just take that really big tax-free cash prize.
You sure can. For $2.5 million, you can build your own dream, and you can rest easy knowing that you're supporting BC Children's Hospital. And who knows, it could be the next big medical breakthrough that could be part of your contribution.
I love it. Erin, thank you so much for all the information tonight. There's an important bonus deadline, so folks can head online and buy their ticket.
You've got it. We've got 51 winners this year for the early bird, and it's huge. So many things I can't even list, but it's our biggest yet. So please get your tickets now, bcchildren.com, or visit Save on Foods or London Drugs.
And good luck.
Thanks, ladies. Well, daylight saving time and all the debate around it is back in the spotlight this morning.
I really don't like it. I find it messes up my sleep.
One Liberal MP says it's time to stop changing our clocks. More on the political push reviving the debate still to come. But first, asking for a raise can be stressful. Which professions are most likely to get one, and some tips on negotiating your wage and benefits. Stick around. Your Morning Vancouver is back in a moment.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. And it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is dollar. Head to the contest page on ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter dollar along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Vancouver's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck.
Well, negotiating your salary is not easy. A new report from Robert Half finds that in-demand skills and workers who have those skills can ask for more money as employers are worried about meeting expectations. Joining us this morning to break it all down for us is Mike Schechtman from Robert Half. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, asking for a raise is a difficult thing for a lot of people, but you have something called the 2026 Canada Salary Guide. So it gives us this national snapshot of salaries and trends when it comes to hiring. So with a city like Vancouver, we have this very high cost of living. So what does the report say about the salaries that we may have?
Yeah, the Robert Half Salary Guide really outlines some of the key functional roles across specialized and demand positions. And what it shows is that every geography across the country is variable based on cost of living and other conditions that are taken and considered in place. Year over year, it's about a 3% to 4% jump over 2025 in terms of what is forecasted for the 2026 guide, which is live as we speak.
Okay, so the report suggests that there's some professionals with really in-demand skills that they can ask for higher salaries, and they often get them. So which skills and certifications are we talking about here?
It depends on the industry that are specific, but if you look at technology-related positions, you want to look at upskilling, whether it's to do with generative AI, looking at cybersecurity type of certificates. When you're looking at designations, you may look into accounting designations such as CPA. and also sought after positions and demand skills would be around the project management. We know that teams are leaner, so as you're taking on certificates that will allow you to manage projects, that's one of the skill sets that many employers are looking for.
So it's interesting that as people look to, get a raise or to increase their salary, more than 70% of hiring managers say they're worried about meeting salary expectations of someone who's applying for a job or asking, or even employee that they already have. So how is that playing out here in BC?
Well, we know that many businesses have gone through an economic cycle that's challenging over the last 18 or so months. So employers are a little bit gun-shy around increasing salaries at this time. So it's very important for employees and candidates to look at the total package. The base is just one component of the total compensation. So pulling different levers within the process is critical, such as company pay time off. You could look at signing bonuses. Employees can look at additional professional development opportunities. So you want to look at the total package and not just the base to make it a win-win situation.
Another thing that is something that a lot of employees want right now is work-life balance. Maybe working from home, having that hybrid schedule. How big of a challenge is that for the workplace right now to accommodate those workers, and how often are we seeing people trying to negotiate that into their contracts?
Well, we see it, and it's actually within the guide. It shows that 52% of respondents shared that they would actually take a similar pay with another position if that meant that they were able to have additional flexibility or the ability to work-life integration. So that continues to be a push and pull effect between employers and candidates alike. So employers do need to make a decision in terms of what is best suitable for them as an organizations, and ensure it's not only a tool to attract some of the best people out there, but also retain some of the talent that you have as well.
Okay, for folks watching right now, they're thinking, okay, I want to go ask my boss for a raise. What are your best tips for someone to ask? How do they do it, and how can it be successful?
Well, a successful negotiation comes to a couple of things. It's the art and the science, and there's three components to it from my perspective. One is doing your research and due diligence, so understanding what your value is in the market in terms of the role and the skills that you have. Number two is the flexibility, so knowing what your ask is, but also knowing what the bottom line and what your walking away point is through that process. And number three, confidence, so your ability to deliver a good business case and therefore putting your best foot forward for a win-win situation.
All right, well, good luck to all the candidates out there who are going to walk into their boss's offices today and ask for that raise. And you know what? You deserve it, so go for it.
Absolutely.
Mike Sheckman from Robert Half, thanks so much for your advice this morning and your perspective. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, hey, the Gravy Bowl at BC Place is on this weekend. It's a pivotal game for the BC Lions as they vie for position in the West. And one of our favorite former Lions and CFL Hall of Famer, Wally Buono, is joining us in studio in our next half hour. We'll get his perspective on the team's push for the playoffs and his thoughts on the new CFL rules.
Yeah, fired, rugged.
How do you react when your partner buys something that you really don't care all that much about? Your Friday morning sidebar is coming up.
Welcome back to CTV Your Morning Vancouver. It is 7:53. It is Friday. Happy Friday, friends. It's mainly sunny out there now, but don't get too excited. As the day goes on, the clouds will enter into the picture, but unlike what I've been telling you for this whole week, you won't need your umbrella today, and you won't need it over the weekend. Look at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, nothing but sunshine and highs of 17 degrees. But today, mainly cloudy skies.
Wow. Great to see all that sunshine. It's going to be a great weekend then.
Great weekend.
All the fall colors are out too.
Yeah.
It's very pretty out there.
I'm actually heading to Victoria for the weekend.
Oh, lovely.
I'm seeing the BCSUCA Gala, so hopefully it's a nice sunny affair with the animals.
Have fun with that.
I'm excited for it. Well, men and women like different things, of course, and it's time now for your sidebar to explore that. All right, let's get into it. One husband came home with a very interesting gift that he purchased, and this is how his wife reacted.
Yeah, fired, rugged. Beep, beep.
Yeah, she she tried, but this wife just wasn't impressed with the new tires for this truck that her husband came home with.
Rugged.
Beep, beep.
So wait, was it the truck that was new, or was it the tires?
There's the tires on it.
Great.
It's
got
the
new
beep
tires.
beep for me. Yeah.
Beep beep.
Beep beep. Yeah. You know how it is. We all like different things. Anyways, now to a woman who's trying to act out what she just read.
She smiled at him with her lower teeth.
No way.
How do you smile with your lower teeth?
Oh, I don't think
She
so.
smiled at him with her lower teeth.
What? Does it mean like full mouth smile?
I don't
Or is
think
it just bad
anyone
writing?
can smile with their lower teeth. It's just not.
We're all trying
it's
it
not a
right
good
now.
Smiled at him with her lower teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
I want to know what happened after that. She smiled with her lower teeth, and he walked away.
and he thought, all right, get me out of here. Finally, a playground ride that scares some adults. What a ride. This woman did not expect to be catapulted into the water.
That looks like so much fun.
That's insane.
Did you
watch
think
this
it was
again.
just going to be a nice little cruise and then you just land softly in the water?
It cost €1, it says.
Well, look how high up she's going. I mean,
Holy
there's definitely going to be
guacamole.
some speed involved here. Here we go.
Oh my
She got some
God.
air, girl. I love that. Looks fun.
Yeah, I would do that. Makes you want to go. We're going to be doing that all morning. It's Friday. We got the sillies. You know what? That's all for your segment.
Okay, thanks so much for that. Mail delivery is still paused across the country, so where do we go from here? We'll have the latest action by Canada Post workers who are off the job and seeking a new contract still. Plus, another face-to-face for Mark Carney and Donald Trump, what the Prime Minister is hoping to accomplish with another trip south to visit the U.S. president. And
I'm married to the hustle, and now I know the life of a showgirl, babe.
one of the most highly anticipated albums of the year is out. What you need to know about the life of a showgirl. Stay with us.
Secrets are forever, and now I know the life of a showgirl, babe.
We cannot generate even a cent of sales.
Frustrated business owners call for relief as the BC General Employees Union promises to ramp up job action. Also, Mr. Carney goes to Washington. Why the Prime Minister is set to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump next week.
So if we keep the pressure on and men on base, who knows what can happen?
A former Blue Jay offers his thoughts on the big postseason showdown between Toronto and the New York Yankees. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. Well, now to the growing frustration among business owners caught in a bitter labor impasse. The BCGEU strike is now in its 5th week, and the union says the public will really begin to feel the impact in the next few days. Reagan joins us now in studio. Good morning, Reagan. So what are you hearing from both sides?
Good morning, Carrie. Striking public service workers took their message to the legislature this week, and while the pickets began outside of liquor stores, the impact is now spreading.
Exercising their democratic rights. And that is not something that is new in this province.
5 weeks into the strike, certain sectors are feeling the pinch, especially businesses relying on alcohol. Importers say their products are stuck in warehouses with no way to move stock onto shelves. Private stores that initially benefited from the closure of government-owned outlets are now starting to see empty shelves too. The union is demanding an 8% raise over 2 years, while the government is holding at 5%. And with more than 1,000 additional picketers joining the lines this week, the BCGEU warns the public disruption is about to escalate.
Next week, there'll be a vastly increased impact on the general public. Unfortunately, that's unavoidable. Government failed to come back with a reasonable deal.
Public service workers say they'll be back on the lawns of the legislature on Monday as politicians return to work for the fall session. Carrie?
Okay, thank you for that, Reagan. In the meantime, with no end in sight to the ongoing Canada Post strike, some workers are holding an information picket line this morning. This is the scene at a Purolator shipping centre in Vaughan, Ontario. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says the goal is to educate the public about the current labour situation. The union is trying to negotiate a new contract and opposes proposed government budget cuts that include ending door-to-door delivery and closing some rural post offices.
What Canada Post plan is, and what the government has bought into, is that there's going to be a mailbox down the street for everybody, and that you will go to that mailbox either, you know, on your street or in some places up to 3 or 4 kilometers away, and you'll get your parcel there. That's not feasible for a lot of Canadians.
Canada Post says it is facing deep financial trouble and the cost-cutting steps are necessary. Prime Minister Mark Carney is heading to Washington next week to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump amid the ongoing trade war. This would be Carney's second visit to Washington as Prime Minister. A release from his office says the meeting will be focused on, quote, shared priorities in a new economic and security relationship between Canada and the U.S. Carney will head stateside Tuesday evening with the meeting with Trump set for Wednesday, October 7th. Well, Mounties in Burnaby are continuing their search this morning for a missing 11-year-old boy. Last Friday, RCMP say they received a request for a well-being check for Kai Pavlovich. They say they spoke to Kai's family and have reason to believe he may be staying with a caregiver who isn't known to police. Now, Kai's whereabouts have still not been confirmed, and police say they are working around the clock to find him. Well, now to the latest in a CTV News investigation into the death of Chase de Balinhard. Calls are continuing to grow this morning for the province to issue a public inquest into the shooting. One MLA says the government has no reason to wait.
There have been other high-profile cases, which I myself have even advocated for, where the Premier has called for a coroner's inquest even before court proceedings have taken place. I do not understand in this case why the Premier is actually being so heartless as to deny the family this opportunity to learn more facts about what happened with their son Chase.
The 15-year-old was killed in the Clayton Heights neighborhood during an encounter with RCMP back in February. The province says the Independent Investigations Office is still probing the death, and until that is complete, an inquest won't move forward. Well, quite a scare for some transit passengers after police swarmed a SkyTrain car looking for a man on board spotted with a knife. This happened yesterday morning at the Metrotown station. Police say a passenger on board was asleep with an open knife. They say an officer had followed the train in his car from the New Westminster station, where he then sprinted onto the platform. Once there, our camera saw a handful of officers had cleared the train. Transit police then searched for the man, but they did not find him. No injuries were reported. A warning now, some of the content in this next story is graphic. Former Vancouver Canuck Willie Mitchell has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman in Tofino in 2022. The allegations are laid out in a civil lawsuit filed in BC Supreme Court Wednesday. The plaintiff, identified only by her initials, claims she worked at a resort co-owned and managed by Mitchell. The suit alleges Mitchell drove the intoxicated woman to his home and had sex with her without her consent. According to the statement of claim, the woman reported the incident to police the next day and also went to hospital for a forensic examination.
In criminal cases, you are dealing with a beyond a reasonable doubt standard of proof. In civil, it's a balance of probabilities. So it's easier for a complainant to prove the case in civil court on a balance of probabilities than it would be for the state to prove the case in criminal court beyond a reasonable doubt.
CTV News has been unable to reach Mitchell or his representatives for comment. The allegations have not been tested in court. To the Okanagan, where they are bidding farewell to the Grand Fondo. After 14 years, the renowned cycling event will no longer be hitting the pavement in Penticton. Organizers say the cancellation is due to increasing costs and a shift in the type of races people in the cycling industry are looking for. The announcement also comes after a tragic crash at this year's event where a cyclist was killed and 2 others injured after being struck by a vehicle. The event's executive director says the incident took a serious toll on staff and volunteers. Well, there are renewed calls to commit to extending the SkyTrain to the UBC Point Grey campus. Around 15,000 people have signed a petition calling on the province and feds for action. Around 60,000 students, faculty and staff commute to the campus daily from across Metro Vancouver. As of now, the Millennium Line extension, currently under construction, will stop at Broadway and Arbutus, forcing commuters to get back on a bus to get to UBC. Vancouver City Councillor Sean Orr and Lucy Maloney are tabling a joint motion next week asking higher levels of government to make this a priority.
When you're an advocate for something important, you can't just ask one time, then shrug your shoulders and give up. I know from my road safety advocacy that you have to ask again and again in different ways.
We think it's something that the province wants and the federal government wants in the end. It's just a matter of kind of keeping up that pressure.
The petition organizer is set to meet with the Premier today and the legislature next month to make the case for more accessible rapid transit. The Toronto Blue Jays now know which team they'll be facing in the next round of the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Duck McMahon, and the Yankees have completed step 1 on their way back to a World Series.
The New York Yankees capped off their 3-game series with a 4-0 win against the Boston Red Sox to punch their ticket to the American League Division Series. This is the first time the Jays and Yankees will meet in the postseason, despite being division rivals. Meanwhile, a former Jays slugger is offering this advice for the squad.
Listen, all the stakes are high, the pressure's mounting, there's extra tension, it's going to be full of media, the pressure's going to be on. So I suggest the guys to calm down. You channel that energy correctly. Just focus on the task at hand. Take a few deep breaths because your excitement can get a hold of you in games like this. So keep your cool.
Keep your cool. Their series starts tomorrow from the Rogers Centre in Toronto. Well, onlookers were treated to quite the sight as a family of black bears explored a park in the Tri-Cities. A viewer sent us this video of a mama bear and 3 cubs playing around yesterday, even climbing a tree before heading down to a creek. The furry family delighting spectators and serving as a reminder of the wild neighbors we share our backyard with. Yeah, wow, very close-up video. Wow. That is quite incredible. Good to see Mama and her young ones out and about.
Nice to see that the person that was taking the video was far enough away because, as we all know, you do not want to get in between a mama and her baby bears.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, good point. Looked like they were up on a platform or something like that, so they were safe.
A safe distance, yes. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. CTV Weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. Let's take a look at your current temperatures throughout the province. Cool, but steadily increasing. Cranbrook, 4 degrees, 5 in Williams Lake, 7 in Prince George. As for the current temperatures in the lower mainland, getting ever so warmer, not so much though. 9 in Chilliwack, 9 in Pitt Meadows, 14 in North Van, it's 11 in Vancouver. Our high in Vancouver for your almanac would be 16 degrees, which is the average. Last year we were at 14, but we're not going to be anywhere close to the record that was set back in 1980. 24 degrees back then. What a year. I don't know. What a year. Today, we're going to see mainly cloudy skies, 16 degrees. But as I keep saying, unlike the last week, I've been telling you to bring your umbrella. You're not going to need it today. We're going to see mainly cloudy skies today, high of 16 degrees. And just you wait for what I have in store for you for the weekend. How's that for a tease, Carrie?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Okay, looking forward to that. Thanks, Caroline. All right, it's 8:11 right now. One of the most highly anticipated albums of the year is out. Still to come, what you need to know about the life of a showgirl. That's still to come. But first, it's a pivotal game for the BC Lions in the hunt for the playoffs. The Gravy Bowl at BC Place is on this weekend. Up next, we'll be joined by CFL Hall of Famer, the one and only Wally Bono. Stick around.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is dollar. Head to the contest page on ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter dollar along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Vancouver's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck.
Well, this weekend is a big one for BC Lions fans. The team is chasing a playoff spot, and Saturday's home game comes with an extra layer of meaning. The Lions will be retiring the jersey number of Solomon Elimimian, one of the most dominant defensive players in CFL history. To help us break it all down, we're joined by a man who knows the Lions inside and out, their former coach and GM and Hall of Famer, Wally Buono. Wally, we're so glad that you could come in today.
Well, it's my pleasure, and as you said, it's a great game tomorrow night for second place at least. And, you know, Solly was one of my favorites, and I'm happy that they are acknowledging his great career.
Yeah, it is a crucial game this weekend for the Lions when it comes to playoffs. Maybe expand on that.
Well, you know, right now, you want to have a home playoff spot. Whether it's first or second, you want to have a home playoff spot. And, you know, the game tomorrow night, both teams are at 8 wins. And obviously, if you win tomorrow night, you not only get the 9th win, you probably get the tiebreaker, you know, which is something that the Lions would like.
Yeah, so as a former coach, excuse me, what do you think the team and the players are feeling right now as they aim for that playoff spot?
Well, you know, I think both teams will realize the value of it, and you know, it's going to be a very entertaining, physical game, and you know, I'd rather be playing at BC Place and in front of the fans because they're going to be you know, loud, and I've always wanted them to be loud and proud, right?
Yeah, and they're also retiring Solomon Elimimian's number 56 this Saturday. I know that you coached him for many years. What makes him such a special player?
Well, there's a number of things. One, I think Solly's going to be the last jersey number that they're going to retire.
Why is that?
Well, because, you know, there are too many numbers. We don't have enough for the players.
Oh, yeah, good point, right?
But, you know, Solomon was a great competitor. He was a very physical, very intelligent football player. But, you know, down deep, he also was great in the community. He did a lot of work helping to promote to the things that the Lions were backing. And, you know, one of those, like, violence against women. And, you know, he was big into that, going to the high schools to talk to, you know, young men and young women about some of the social issues that we face.
A special person on and off the field. That's incredible. And, you know, since we have you in studio, I want to ask you about the recent changes that have been made in the CFL. You probably knew I was going to ask you about that. I mean, some might say they're controversial, others say they're needed. What is your take on them?
Well, I think you're correct in saying both. You know, when you look at the CFL right now and you look at the economic situation, you know, there's not enough people in the stands, and there's not enough money coming in for the owners to be profitable. You know, and it's a great game. The CFL has great players. It's a great entertaining game. But something has to change so that more fans will be coming to our game. More fans will be watching it on TV. And, you know, like anything, people have a hard time accepting change. But, you know, without change, nothing gets better. And I think the rules, some of the rules, I do believe will be very beneficial.
Is there anything that you don't agree with?
Well, it's not that I don't agree with. The one thing, I'm a big proponent of the CFL has tremendous returners and tremendous kickers. And, you know, unfortunately, the rules will affect both of those. To what degree? I don't think any of us know. But, you know, I support what the owners are wanting to do. They have to do something to attract more fans.
Younger fans, more fans, just get bumps in the seats.
People my age aren't going to be here much longer. You know, I don't mean to be, you know,
well,
you know.
Don't go anywhere anytime soon, Wally.
Well, you know, I'm not as young as I look.
Are you enjoying your retired life, though? I mean, I know people watching right now are thinking, well, Wally, it's so good to see him. You look great, by the way.
You know, I am. You know, I had a great career, and I always enjoyed my time here in Vancouver. I live in White Rock, and I'm a big BC Lion fan, and, you know, I had a great life. But, you know, that point is, you know, Buck's doing a good job with the Lions. I have a good life that we, like I said, just got back from Florence for a month, so I can't complain.
That is a great life. And of course, people will get to see you at the, you go to most of the home games, so you still really enjoy your football.
We do, and you know, it's going to be great to see Sully's name go up on the wall, and it's very, very well deserved.
Number 56, yeah. The BC Lions face off against the Calgary Stampeders tomorrow. Saturday, tomorrow, 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
before the game, you can go to Terry Fox Plaza and take part in the Gravy Bowl. It's a Thanksgiving-themed feast. There's pumpkin pie. Are you going to go down there, Wally? Are you going to be there for the pumpkin pie?
Well, I'll be there because, yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on. But, you know, you got to give Mr. Doman a lot of credit. He's doing a lot of great things to attract the fans and make it more than just a football game.
Such a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, you know, it is. And when I go to the games, that's the one thing I do say. It's a very enjoyable atmosphere.
Well, it's been enjoyable having you here today, Wally.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
really good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, stick around. Vancouver's food scene, by the way, just got a little more sparkle. We're going to tell you which 2 local restaurants have just been awarded a coveted Michelin star. That is still to come. And the life of a showgirl is here. Taylor Swift's 12th studio album is already making waves. What you need to know, in Taylor's own words, as she pulls back the curtain to her life during the Eras Tour.
Discover Surrey with a chance to choose from a collection of Surrey signature experiences for you and 3 friends. Choose 4 of 8 locally led and thoughtfully designed adventures and explore, taste, and connect with one of Canada's most diverse cities. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen for a chance to win. Good luck. Welcome back to CTV Your Morning Vancouver. Hey there.
Hi.
It's time to welcome in this week's CTV Your Morning weather star, 8-year-old Ashton Plamondon. Ashton, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
This is going to be fun, girlfriend.
Yeah, it's so going to be fun.
So good. All right, now where are you from?
I'm from South Surrey.
South Surrey. What school do you go to?
I go to Star of the Sea.
Star of the Sea. I've never heard of it. I've never been there. Is it fun?
Oh, it's really fun, yes.
Okay. We love when 8-year-olds say that school is fun. Keep that. Keep that.
I will.
All right, now before we get to your weather forecast, is there anyone you want to shout out here?
Yes, I'd like to shout out my family, friends, and Spiral Dance.
Ooh, so you're a dancer too?
Yes.
You do everything.
I know. I'm busy.
Busy. All right, well, let's get you right through the weather then so you can get back to your busy schedule.
Okay.
All right.
It's going to be 16 degrees, a little bit of cloud today, but some sun this weekend. Enjoy the sun.
Woohoo! All right, yes, as Ashton said, it's going to be sunny this weekend. You're getting applause. They never clap for me, Ashton. Now, thank you again for coming in and being our weather star. We look forward to hearing you give the forecast with our friends at Nat and Drew on Move 103.5 later this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You are busy.
I know, I'm busy a lot.
Love being busy a lot. Your child could become the next CTV Your Morning weather star and deliver the weather forecast on air. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Whew, Ashton, nice job, girlfriend. Well, as you heard her say, it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud today, so let's just get right to the forecast, shall we? Your forecast for the South Coast. Port Hardy, some showers there and 12 degrees. Campbell River, Comox. Cloudy skies today and a high of 16. Cloud cover in Tofino and Port Alberni. 16 degrees in Nanaimo, Victoria. A little bit of sun will be poking out today. Mainly cloudy skies in Sechelt and Powell River. A mix of sun and cloud in Squamish and Whistler. Pretty cool in Squamish, 12 degrees. As we head to the lower mainland, our temperatures will be between 16 and 17 degrees. Mainly cloudy skies. It's already starting to get really cloudy out there. You can see a little bit of sun, a little bit of cloud. But wait till you see what we have in store for the weekend. Some cloud cover to start your day tomorrow, then sunny breaks. And would you just look at Sunday? Look at Monday and Tuesday, nothing but sunshine and a high of 17 degrees. So as I've been telling you all week, bring your umbrella. You are not going to need it for the next 5 days at least. Carrie.
All right. Thanks for that, Caroline. Well, now to Taylor Swift's new era. The superstar's 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl, dropped overnight. ABC's Laura Spencer has all the details, including what Taylor herself is saying about the new music.
The
This morning, the life of a showgirl taking center stage.
So she waited by the stage door as the club promoter arrived. She said, I'd sell my soul to have a taste of a magnificent life.
Taylor Swift dropping her 12th studio album overnight, sending Swifties into a frenzy. The highly anticipated release pulling back the curtain on her life off stage during her record-breaking Eras tour.
But it's actually sweet. All the time you've spent on me, it's honestly wild. All the effort you've put in.
And this morning, in a new interview on BBC Radio 1, Taylor saying the new album has teeth and acknowledging the influence her current relationship had on it.
It's a full picture of like the full life experience, which for me is like there's always some element of drama that someone is forcing into my consciousness, which is fun to write about.
The excitement for Taylor's new music nearly breaking the internet overnight, with live listening parties happening coast to coast. Fans also storming stores trying to get their hands on one of her coveted vinyls.
Really excited.
The singer, who recently got engaged to Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, appearing to open up about their relationship in multiple songs, including The Fate of Ophelia and Wish List.
I just want you.
The album also featuring a song with ties to the late George Michael called Father Figure. George Michael's team writing online, thank you Taylor Swift for including George in such a special moment. And fans soaking up every last second of the ultimate showgirl's new music.
She really wants to set a statement that she is a fully formed grown woman who has opinions and who is really ready to share parts of her life that she hasn't shared before in music.
Wow, such great insight into that new album. I know she was singing all the lyrics as you were going through that story.
Didn't it just get released 3 hours ago? Yeah, you know what? It came out last night at 9 o'clock. Obviously, have to be up early for the show, but obviously I had to stay up and listen. I listened to it once last night and then once this morning. And
all 12 songs twice.
Yeah. And it honestly, it's growing on me over time. Like the first time you hear a song, it's obviously going to sound jarring, but every single song on the album has so much meaning behind it. And that's what I love about her is her lyricism, her poetic nature. She's brilliant.
She's a good lyricist.
To teach us.
And have you listened to it yet?
I haven't. It's downloaded. I had to tell my favorite Swiftie. I got a very stern talking to in my ear, Vanessa in the control room. She's like, why aren't you going to listen to it? Like, I'm downloading it right now. So I will listen to the whole album and will report back accordingly. You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Well, I was going to say my 16-year-old had listened to it last night as well, and I got the kind of the Coles notes on most of the songs. As I was trying to go to sleep, she was sitting on my bed telling me about the song, so I know I'll get more insight from her because she's probably listened to it about 3 times by now as well.
Yeah, so excited. I'm going to the movie later today, so I'm excited for that.
Okay, I know a lot of people are going to that. If you're a Swiftie, you're on board with that. Well, have fun, everyone. Happy Friday. It's 8:30 right now. Here's the view from Grouse Mountain. Ooh, looks kind of cloudy and gray out there, but we do see glimpses of sunshine, which is what we do have in store for the weekend. Here now is a look at your top stories. Well, the BCGEU strike is dragging into its 5th week, and with no deal in sight, the economic ripple effects are growing. Today, alcohol importers and private store owners say the labor dispute is now hitting their bottom line. Reagan joins us now in studio. So, Reagan, how is this stalemate starting to pour trouble into the liquor industry?
Good morning, Carrie. Striking BCGEU workers are vowing to ramp up their job action yet again. And while government stores remain shuttered, the impact is now spreading beyond picket lines, with private liquor stores and importers warning they're running out of product and time. Public service workers picketed outside the legislature yesterday, bringing their message directly to the NDP caucus. But while the political pressure builds, so does the financial costs. Pickets outside government liquor stores and the warehouses that move product in and out have effectively cut off many suppliers.
It has cut off our business completely. We cannot generate even a cent of sales since last week. So what's effectively happening is we are bleeding money without any ability to generate revenue.
The union's latest demand is an 8% raise over 2 years. The government has offered a total of 5% so far. The union says it's preparing to escalate strike action in the days ahead, and that means customers could soon be the ones left with empty shelves. Carrie?
Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us. Thanks, Reagan. Well, Canada Post says it has presented a new offer to the Union of Postal Workers, and it looks like a previously offered signing bonus is now off the table. The bonus would have been either $500 or $1,000, depending on the employee's role. The Canada Post says the new offer is within the limit of what the corporation can afford while maintaining good jobs and benefits for employees over the long term. However, it is still pushing for part-time workers. It adds Canada Post will be, quote, smaller in size and more flexible in the future, which could be hinting at layoffs. The latest offer also does not budge from the previously offered wage increase of 13.59% over 4 years. With no end in sight to the ongoing trade war with the United States, the Prime Minister says he is heading to Washington next week. Mark Carney is set to travel to Washington Tuesday night before meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday. A brief release from Carney's office says it will be a working visit and meeting focused on shared priorities in a new economic and security relationship between Canada and the U.S. Former Foreign Affairs Minister Peter MacKay says one issue will be looming over that meeting: Trump's repeated comments about Canada becoming the 51st state.
As long as this continued reference to the 51st state remains foremost in the president's mind, this is not an atmosphere that is going to make these type of negotiations easy, and it's something that absolutely enrages Canadians and isn't going to happen.
This will be Carney's second visit to Washington as Prime Minister. Well, there were instances of foreign interference in Canada's last federal election. That is according to a report from the Canadian government. The report published yesterday says they included things like online scams, threats, and disinformation. With that being said, these efforts were not believed to have affected the outcome of the election. They were characterized as small scale and seen as difficult to attribute to a foreign actor. We are just under a month away from rolling our clocks back 1 hour to standard time, but there is a new push this morning to take another look at the practice. Liberal MP Marie-France Lalonde is set to put forward a private member's bill to have a pan-Canadian conference decide on a set time that we would stick to year-round. People on the streets of Vancouver seem to like that idea.
I prefer not to fall back in the fall and have an hour more daylight.
I really don't like it. I find it messes up my sleep, and it takes days to kind of get adjusted.
I think it's a good idea to get rid of the daylight savings time. It causes a lot more problems and a lot of shock to people when they set back the clocks.
In 2019, BC passed legislation to switch to permanent daylight time. However, the change would happen only if and when Washington State, Oregon, and California do the same. Well, a UBC chemistry professor's hobby is being recognized by the New York Times. Still to come, how the professor and his colorful shirts discovered a passion for creating puzzles. We'll explain. And an upcoming gala will bring delicious cuisine, community, and fundraising together. Still to come, we'll get a sneak peek of From Farms to Forks from the chef in residence. Stay with us.
Support research breakthroughs from cancer to heart disease and brain health through the BC Children's Hospital Dream Lottery. Check out these early bird bonus prizes worth $300,000. Choose a $125,000 luxury travel adventure, an Audi SQ5 plus gas and groceries for a year, or a Ford F-150, a trailer plus gas and groceries for a year, or choose $210,000 cash. 50 more winners will receive $1,000 cash. Early bird deadline midnight tonight.
Well, some of Vancouver's top chefs, food growers, and producers will come together for a night of delicious cuisine, community, and fundraising at the 15th annual Growing Chefs from Farms to Forks fundraising gala. And joining us now to tell us more about it is Lunch Lab chef in residence, Chef Tasha Sawyer. Good morning, Chef. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking me in.
So tell us a little bit about this gala. What can we expect from that?
We have 19 of Vancouver's best chefs that are coordinating to each make a nice little bite of food for you, a nice plate. It's a bit of a big kitchen party. So you can go through the actual kitchen from station to station, collect your small bite from each chef, and just enjoy the diversity of the different products and the different styles of cooking that we have here in Vancouver.
People who are attending, so all the money raised goes towards this
correct.
This Lunch Lab program. Tell us a little bit about it.
We actually have two school programs. One is the Lunch Lab program, and that is a school lunch program where chefs like myself go into a particular school a few days a week, usually 2 days a week, and we cook with the students in order to make food for themselves and the rest of other students that are signed up in that program. We also have a school program that is more devoted to younger students, and they learn more. Where does food come from? How do seeds grow? That sort of thing.
These are really important skills to have.
Yes, it is.
It's not just about feeding them, but also teaching them about how to prepare their own and how to grow their own.
How to grow their own, where food comes from. A lot of people are very displaced from where their food comes from, and they think maybe it all just comes from a grocery store. And people get into a bit of a groove of eating the same thing, so we like to introduce new things as well at the school programs.
Okay, so you're showing us one of the dishes that you might serve at one of the schools and prepare with the students. Tell us about what you have here.
Yeah, so we make all sorts of things. This week, for example, at my school, we made lasagna on Wednesday, and we made burritos yesterday.
Okay.
We also like to introduce foods that students may be less familiar with.
Okay.
So one of the things I've actually introduced is peas and rice, which is peas and rice. So this is made all over the Caribbean, but this is how we make it in the Bahamas, which is where my family is from.
Okay, so what goes into that?
Yeah, so we start off with the usual sort of aromatics. We've got some onions, we've got some garlic, and I like to add some chili flakes. Some people will add like a whole habanero or something like that.
How do the students feel about that? Do they like the spice? Do they like
my students actually love the spice. They put hot sauce on everything. And once you can just start by sauteing off your onions and garlic. You add a little tomato paste for color. And then you're just gonna sort of stir in your rice. And want to use a nice long grain rice. I've got some basmati here. That works really, really well. And then the peas. Traditionally, we will use dried pigeon peas, which is just like a dried bean. You can find these canned, but I've lived in different places where I couldn't get those. When I lived in Alberta, I always used Romana beans because I couldn't find pigeon peas. So I just put here some other beans that you could use. So you have Romano beans here. You've got some small kidney beans here and black-eyed peas, which I actually love to use.
Okay, so now how do you cook it over the stove for a period of time?
You cook it over the stove. So once you've sauteed off your aromatics and added your rice in, you then add your liquid, and that's going to be part coconut milk and part water.
Okay.
And then you just stir your cooked peas in. So don't cook your peas first.
Peas cooked first and then add them in.
Yeah.
And you have it here now.
I do.
This is so nutritious, isn't it? It's obviously rich in fiber and a lot of good stuff in there.
Usually you make brown rice when we cook for the school, so we have a lot of fiber in there. We've got protein in there. It's also a vegan dish. Traditionally, it's usually made with a bit of pork, but I leave that out when we're doing for school. So then we end up with something like this, which is just this beautiful. And in the Bahamas, we'll eat this 2 or 3 days a week.
Yum. I'll let you put some on the plate there for us.
I did, yeah.
But I want to point out that some of the students also are growing their own food at the school as well.
So we partner with Fresh Roots, which is another nonprofit, and they have 2 schoolyard farms. One is at David Thompson High School and one is at Van Tech High School. So this thyme is actually from there, and the kale is from one of their farms as well.
That is gorgeous kale.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's so beautiful this time of year. And then some of the more unfamiliar vegetables. We have a kohlrabi there, which is also from, I think that's actually from David Thompson. And then the white little
that's a kohlrabi right there.
That's a kohlrabi, yeah. And that's good raw. And we putting that on our salad bar.
It's like a big radish.
It's like a big radish. Yeah, it's another root vegetable. And the little white radishes, or turnips, I guess, Japanese turnips.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'll let you put that on the plate there. So I understand that the Growing Chefs is marking its 20th anniversary. So thank you so much for joining us in studio, and good luck with the fundraiser and the gala.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Lunch in Residence Chef Tasha Sawyer joining us. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Caroline, over to you.
Oh, what a great initiative. And Carrie, please save me some. I'm a little hungry this morning. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. CTV weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. Your forecast highs for the province look like this. Kelowna, mix of sun and cloud, 21 degrees. Bella Coola, some showers. Masset, mix of sun and cloud and some showers up there, high of 15 degrees. Right now in Vancouver, it is 11 degrees. It's cloudy. That's all I got for you. A little bit of sun, a little bit of cloud, mostly cloud as the day goes on. As you can see here with your storm tracker, some areas are clear, some areas have some cloud, but as the day goes on, we're going to see a whole lot of cloud cover. A little bit of sun, a little bit of cloud, but again, no rain. So keep your umbrellas at home. You're not going to need it for the next few days at least. We've got a cloudy start to tomorrow, but then nothing but sunshine. Your almanac for Vancouver, our high will be 16 today, which is the average, but a touch warmer than where we were last year, but nowhere near the record of 24 degrees that was set back in 1980. As for the 5-day forecast, as you saw, 16 degrees, mostly cloudy today, more sun than cloud tomorrow, and then nothing but sunshine as of Sunday for the next 3 days at least. So make sure you get out there and enjoy it. Now let's check in with Mona.
Well, every kid's dream, of course, is to climb into a real-life fire truck, and Firehouse Subs Canada is making that dream come true with their upcoming Touch the Truck events happening across the country this Saturday. The event is in honor of the upcoming National Fire Prevention Week, and joining us this morning with the details, it's Touch the Truck Ambassador Kevin Wendt. Good morning, Kevin.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Of course, folks might recognize you from several reality shows here in Canada, but you're also an ambassador for Firehouse Subs and a huge ambassador, of course, and partner of Touch the Truck. So what will families be able to experience on Saturday?
Yeah, I've been an ambassador with Firehouse Subs for over a year now. It's a great company. They are so much more than just great food. They've always made it a top priority to give back to first responders all across Canada. So as a firefighter myself, I find that very important. It's such a great cause. The Touch the Truck events, there's 80, I believe, restaurants participating across Canada. You can go to Touch the Truck, or you can go to firehousesubs.ca/touchthetruck to see a location near you. And when you show up on Saturday, there'll be a fire truck there, local fire crews. Different locations have different interactive activities for the kids. I've been a firefighter for 14 years, and I've yet to meet a kid that doesn't love jumping on our fire truck. So it's supposed to be beautiful all weekend. If you're looking for something to do, it's a really great thing. And the main focus is kicking off Fire Prevention Week and really drilling home some fire prevention tips for families.
Yeah, so there's about 5 locations on the Lower Mainland that will be opening their doors for the Touch the Truck campaign, and then also on Vancouver Island. Kevin, can you tell us a little bit about the cause behind this, the Firehouse Subs Safety Foundation of Canada, and what they do for local communities?
Sure. So the Public Safety Foundation has now donated over $5 million to life-saving equipment for first responders all across the country. As a lot of people know, funding is tough to get, especially for the top-of-the-line stuff, or sometimes smaller communities, the fire departments don't get a lot of money put behind them. So Firehouse Subs took it upon themselves to make this foundation, and you can apply for grants, and they just continuously have money coming in and pouring out these grants to different departments. So a lot of times, as a public servant, you might not get the top stuff, at your front door. So if Firehouse Subs can take some of the cost away from that and really give back, it's a pretty great thing.
Absolutely. It's such an important cause, right, to support our first responders in communities across the country. And to remind folks, there are locations in Mission, Delta, Abbotsford, Tsawwassen, and Vancouver, UBC, here on the Lower Mainland and then also on the island. Firehouse Subs was also kind enough to send us these delicious-looking subs that I'm sure people can enjoy when they visit the event as well. So, Kevin, I want to say thank you so much for your time with us this morning, and folks can head to the website they see on their screen for all the locations that will have the Touch the Truck event this Saturday. Thanks so much again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate your time.
Well, a professor's puzzling passion is being praised by a paper. Say that 3 times fast. Still to come, how a colorfully clad chemistry professor is being commended by the New York Times. Phew, got through it. Stick around.
The BC Children's Hospital Dream Lottery is back, and it's having us all daydreaming of what kind of life we'd live if we got more than $2 million in tax-free cash as a prize. And here to tell us about the options that you could walk away with is spokesperson Erin Sebula. Good morning, Erin.
Hi, Mona. Well, I know what I would do with $2.5 million tax-free, but I don't think I want to bore your audiences with that right now. The great thing is with the lottery is that there are so many choices with Dream. You can take the cash, which is of course wonderful, or you can take beautiful home packages like this one here in Willoughby from Edition. We love this package because it's very great for families, for someone who wants to stay in the Lower Mainland. But I mean, as you heard, we have home packages all over the province. You could live in the Okanagan, you could live on the island, you can do it all.
And when you pick your dream, you're also supporting, countless families across British Columbia when they're facing some of the most difficult moments of their lives. Who does this lottery benefit?
Absolutely. Well, BC Children's Hospital is the only hospital of its kind dedicated to children here in BC. So when you're purchasing a ticket, you're benefiting your community, the families that you know, the kids that you know. It's the absolute win-win.
Absolutely. Have you given thought to what prize option you would take?
Oh, always. I mean, I think about it every year. I think $2.5 million tax-free would really benefit me. But, I'm open to ideas. I mean, I like the wine country lifestyle, that's for sure.
And you've been on the call when you've told people that they're the winner. So what reactions have you heard? Like, what can people be saying to you?
I've heard everything. I've heard screaming. I've heard shock. Disbelief is pretty much the first reaction. But just also so much care and love for it. I've been a part of the calls to people who have been had their children actually spend time in BC Children's, right? And they've been buying tickets ever since, and now they're reaping the benefits, which is incredible. That's the best kind of winner, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, well, Erin, if all this sounds great to our viewers, where can they buy tickets?
So easy, bcchildren.com, or you can go to Save on Foods or London Drugs, but don't dilly-dally because this is the early bird bonus tonight, and you don't want to miss out on even extra winnings. We have 51 winners this year.
Oh my gosh, incredible. Erin, thank you so much for your time with us this morning. As Erin said, tonight is the early bird deadline, so make sure you get your tickets before midnight to be entered to win even more prizes. Thank you again, and good luck.
Yeah, good luck, everyone. Well, how would you react if you saw this the next time you're at the grocery store? This being a bear. I don't know if you can catch a glimpse of it here. It surprised shoppers at a store in Arizona. Yikes. Apparently it walked right in the front door and then ran around inside the store for a few minutes before making a break for it. Shoppers say it didn't do much damage. It just ran around, probably looking for something to eat, I'm thinking. Well, if you're looking for somewhere to eat this weekend, we may have just the places. 2 Vancouver restaurants have been awarded highly coveted Michelin stars. Sumibayaki Arashi, located in the Mount Pleasant area, received a star. The chef was applauded for ushering in a new gold standard of chicken skewers. Meanwhile, Sushi Hun near Robson and Jervis also nabbed a star. It was praised for having Japanese luxury that pervades every element of the meal. Meanwhile, Vietnamese restaurant Good Thief was awarded the Bib Gourmand designation for offering high-quality food at a great value. 12 Vancouver restaurants now have a Michelin star. Wow. Yeah, congratulations to the restaurants. Well, a UBC chemistry professor's puzzling hobby is being recognized by the New York Times. And as Adam finds out in this morning's Sawatsky sign-off, his crosswords are adding up to something pretty remarkable.
This is not a story about realizing a childhood dream, because back then, Mark McLaughlin was unaware of a crucial reality.
I'd never even heard of the New York Times when I was a kid.
Instead, Mark would regularly borrow his mom's magazines to complete the printed puzzles before learning how to effortlessly solve a Rubik's Cube.
Everybody would bring their cubes to me at school, and I would solve their cubes.
While he would grow up to become an award-winning chemistry professor, dean of science at UBC, and prolific Aloha shirt wearer,
I feel like they brighten the day for everybody else in the room.
It wasn't until Mark was pursuing his postgraduate work at MIT in the late 90s that he discovered the pleasure of completing a crossword.
I just completely forget about work and that I have another life and immerse myself in the puzzle.
Until one day, Mark wondered, who actually makes the crosswords?
Found out that anyone can submit a puzzle to the New York Times.
So Mark taught himself how to design crosswords by hand, which can take between 30 to 80 hours, and started submitting them.
And promptly got it rejected. and tried over and over.
But Mark persevered until he finally got his first puzzle published in the Los Angeles Times.
It was amazing. Yeah, super cool to finally get one accepted.
Since then, Mark has upgraded to using a computer to make more than 75 puzzles.
And I like trying to come up with new, clever themes that other people haven't thought about before.
While having a complex puzzle published can earn more than $2,200, Mark says seeing his work printed in the prestigious New York Times Weekend Edition is priceless.
And Sunday New York Times has felt the best.
Bigger than anything else in your career?
I think so.
While the puzzle-loving boy he once was never knew to dream this big,
I never imagined I'd be doing this as a hobby.
the professor he now is hopes his puzzling pastime, like teaching in aloha shirts or riding with dinosaurs, proves to be both educational and entertaining.
I hope that people enjoy it and learn something new.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Big sports weekend. First of all, FIFA has unveiled its official match ball with all the three countries. We have Canada in the red. We have the U.S. in the blue, and the green represents Mexico. What do you think of that ball? Pretty nice, right?
I'm taking it home. Oops, did I say that out loud?
It's pretty nice.
The person with the best tricks wins, so you got to show off later.
Oh, I got skills.
Carrie was already doing something on her lap.
It's pretty hard to do this, especially in heels and a skirt. Also, Canucks Oilers play tonight, preseason action. The Lions play tomorrow.
Lions play tomorrow. Jays play tomorrow.
Taylor Swift.
Caps on Sunday.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Listen to the album.
Just Taylor.